Does it take some time? Sweet. We are here. We're live. We're looking good. We're looking good. How's everyone's videos look? Looks good. We are here. We're live. Oh, I have my own stream pulled up. It's doubling. How's everyone's videos look? Looks good. Mute site. Thank you.
Beep, 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 beep.
Quee. Thank you for joining us this week. This is our second ever stream of our Eberron campaign that we've been playing for a few months now. I don't really have much else to say. I've been looking forward to this. Thank you for joining us last week if you had, and if you didn't, you can see the video on my Twitch channel, NeverSayDice. So you can keep up with all the mysteries and intrigue and murder that's been going on. Murder. Extra M's and R's in there. Muck duck. For you Office fans out there. So, introduced us all last week, but we'll do a quick version. Up in the top left-hand corner playing Wendolyn, we have our friend Alan. In top right-hand corner playing Oleg is our friend Travis. Bottom left-hand corner playing Spike is our friend Xavier. Also Xylo Plays on Twitch, who just became Twitch affiliate. Wee.
You love to see it.
So check him out, doing all sorts of fun playthroughs. You're playing through Resident Evil 3 now?
3.
Good stuff.
I am scared.
Probably should be. And then bottom right-hand corner playing Varian is a set of severed hands.
Hello.
He also kind of looks like, a kid reaching over the table that's just a little too tall for him.
Yeah, the fun fact about me, I am 4'9". I'm in a very expensive adult booster seat right now. And my name's Carson.
Hi, Carson.
Don't let my hands turn you off.
You're 4'9", but your hands are the size of like a 6'3" grown man.
Oh no!
As you may infer, I've dealt with a lot in my short life. I hope you
I'm so upset.
People enjoy the stream.
Deeply upset. So that's Carson. He's using a different laptop. We will not name brands to not disparage any makers out there, but the laptop has its webcam at the bottom of the screen, and so that's why you're getting a nice tasty angle whenever Carson types.
A glaring design flaw that is just yielding so much comedy so far.
I think it's genius.
It's sure, it's something.
Truly something.
Alan,
yes.
did you invent this?
Wow! I would have signed off on it, yeah.
That's a great idea. So thank you for our 8 viewers here at the moment. We're looking forward to it. I don't think I have anything else to say. Other than that, check how many points you have. You can impact our story by making something happen. There should be a reminder in the chat after a few minutes. We'll see if it actually works. I don't know. But without further ado, we'll do a bit of quick recap. So, these 4 right here are investigators in the city of Sharn in the massive, sprawling world of Eberron. A once famous psychic private investigator was now disparaged, called upon them to take up the mantle of unique, very observant, intelligent investigators in the city of Sharn. Because the Sharn Watch is often easily swayed and paid off, and any higher echelon of crime fighters are often only called on for big things, and even then they can be shooed away from certain crimes because of enough coin. This private investigator, Rickon Greycastle III, was trying to stop that, essentially. Trying to get around that and bring justice to Sharn. But now that his career is essentially over, he's called on these 4 to start doing his work. They've taken on necromancers, they've taken on Mommy's Boys. They've taken on a very sad play. They've done all sorts of stuff, and in the meantime, performing their own duties, such as going to grad school, catching escaped criminals, building things made of alien parts, and keeping the streets safe in our local neighborhoods. All the while still solving strange crimes. They were called on by a friend, an old friend now, about 2 months, named Orien. They saved his son a few months back, and now he's called on them again because his sister died in a skycoach crash. However, it was concluded that there was some tampering done with the skycoach, believing that there's some other things at work, some greater evil. So he called on his friends, some talented investigators, to head the investigation, and paid the Sharn Watch to stay out of it, worrying that they would muck it up. So after investigating the crime scene of the skycoach, they found several clues that led them to believe that the victim, Katerine Orien, was killed after the skycoach crash. And that the skycoach was purposefully tampered with using some kind of contact poison. The driver has been ushered away unconscious but stable to a local healing house in the Death's Gate district in Tavik's Landing. And now, while they wait on him to recover, the four of you have headed over to Terminus Station, where Katerine Orien has an office where she manages some of the shops over and around Terminus Station and the many towers. So, any questions from you four before we begin?
What's the command?
I said this in chat, Carson, but it sounds like your mic is in the laptop.
Yeah, it's switched over for some reason. Here, I'm gonna pop off real quick and hop back on.
Our video is going to get messed up for a moment, probably, so be patient. We can see half of our faces in the wrong frames as we wait for Carson to get back, but that's okay. From the three of you, any questions, comments, or concerns?
What's the
Oh, it got all
what's
moved
the command
around!
for the points?
Oh no!
Oh no. No, now we just have to play each other's characters.
Oh no! It did not get better, by the way, Carson. Just so you're aware.
Yeah, I'm aware.
You'll probably have to go into the computer settings. In the meantime, I'll switch your videos back. Don't leave the chat again.
Oh, what if I want to?
Travis?
Oh no! Something came up.
Alright, everybody, I'm gonna put us as taking a short rest for just a minute while we get this straightened out. You don't see a bunch of bullshit happening on screen. So, one moment, please. Hi, we're back. Technical difficulties fixed. We're getting quicker and quicker by the day, fixing our
That we
technical
are.
difficulties.
Yeah, apologies to the viewers. I tried to use what turned out to be possibly the most obtusely constructed piece of technology existing in the known world, and it bit me in the ass. So,
What
we get some
learned
technical
is change is
difficulties in the
terrible.
chat?
Can we get some technical difficulties? So, you all are making your way to Terminus Station, which is the lightning rail station in Sharn. And the lightning rail is a House Orien venture. It is essentially a train powered by lightning that travels around all of Corvair. One of the fastest ways to travel, aside from airship. And most of you, or if not all of you, have been to Terminus Station before. You generally know where some of the docking stations are at, what pathways, what towers you need to walk through. And so you guys park your sky coach at the top of one of the towers where you you parked previously. You start going through the many stairwells and towers through Tavik's Landing, Terminus Station, crossing bridges, taking lifts. You eventually pass those gross, seedy apartments that you were in once before, where you really turned around a Kenku's life and sent him and his little brothers on their way. But you start wending your way down until you reach some of the many shops of Terminus Station. All sorts of food stalls that cater to all sorts of Sharn cuisine. And when you look at it, Sharn cuisine is a lot of foreign cuisine. Because Sharn is so diverse, it's a lot of food from across Corvair pulled into these little shops. But done up kind of Sharn style, almost like Tex-Mex. And so you pass by all sorts of colorful glowing signs signifying all the different types of food, different like dwarven stews, different orcish meats from the Shadow Marches, all sorts of stuff. You see signs that glow advertising locally made trinkets and clothes, I Love Sharn t-shirts and things then like. You also see several service shops from the Dragonmarked houses. Orien stations that allow people to send messages, very minor healing stations, some more minor like inns and stuff, run by the Mark of Hospitality, halflings and such. But you keep wending your way down, following the signs, knowing where you're headed to, which is Katerine Orien's office. Once you reach the hallway where her office is, you can see on the frosted glass of the door, Katerine Orien, Terminus Station Administrator. You see, you knock on it and you hear someone yell from the other side, and when you open it, you see in a small reception area, classic reception area, simple metal chairs off to the side, old editions of the local newspapers, and then sitting behind a desk is a goblin, an older goblin man, gray wrinkled up skin, thinning white hair that just around his temples and the back of his head, very thin and wispy, glasses down to the end of his long nose, and he's wearing actually quite nice clothes. He's wearing that like old style banker like cuff around his bicep for like his billowy shirt sleeves. And as you enter, he says, "Oh, sorry about this. Miss Orien is not in at the moment. She was having a meeting. She should be back here fairly soon. Maybe the next hour or so. Feel free to wait."
I look to my companions and as if like who's gonna tell her? If Oleg starts to open his mouth, I will jump in.
Nose goes.
Okay. I'm
Sorry, she's dead.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. There has been an accident.
Yes, she's very much dead.
Miss Orien did not survive.
I've already said that. She's already dead. Like it's
like saying it in a nicer way. Anyways,
Oh, sorry. She's very much kind of dead.
Well, now that's just a little confusing. Very much kind of dead.
Oh, sorry. She.
a lot of modifiers, kind of confusing the point.
Oh,
anyway,
okay. She is no longer living.
Miss Katerine is dead?
Yes. There was a wonderful. Never mind.
so.
Yes, she's.
He starts to tear up. The tears start running like through the wrinkles on his face, like little streams.
Do you mind if we go inside her office?
I mean, you really shouldn't. Where is she now? Where have they taken her?
The Sharn Watch is taking care of her remains. Mr. Alden Dorian and has asked us to investigate the incident, and it would be of a great help if we could go through her office.
I don't think I can let you do that until. Do you have any identification? A writ?
Oh yeah, we have a Sharn watch, like a basically one of those sticker badges, right?
Yeah, we'll
Junior
badge.
deputy.
Well, also,
Yeah.
that lady, didn't that lady give us all? Grace Dormer gave us a little slip thing.
Yeah,
A
that's
writ
the
of
same thing.
passage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the same thing. Okay.
We flashed that.
FBI. You flash that to him. He says, "Oh, all right. Well, you're free to look around her office. I'm gonna start getting my things together and go find her. My name is Bodo, by the way," and sticks out his little goblin hand.
I shake it.
Oh.
Oh, alright.
Fancy.
Firmly.
Oleg goes to shake it, and then just see Gwendolyn and just goes, "Oh, okay."
Gwendolyn, you notice that this Bodo's like fingernails are very finely manicured. Like he is a well-maintained goblin.
I kind of like, as I'm shaking, I kind of like shift the hand a little bit, just kind of like respect it, you know?
Kind of respect it. I like it.
But he shakes your hands and says, I'll go and lock the office for you. Still kind of wiping his nose, tears are off his cheeks, and opens up a drawer and unlocks the office for you.
Thank you. I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Thank you. I'll probably be leaving here the next half hour or so, but I'll leave a key with you in case you need to come back and keep investigating or anything.
Of course. Can I make? Do I believe this guy's sobs to be genuine?
I have your passive insight notated, which is very high, and yes, he seems pretty genuine.
Okay, cool.
So,
Or this dude's the master of disguise.
that is true.
His passive deception is like 25.
I would love that so much.
Bodo, I got my eye on you.
Bodo.
Anyway,
Um,
let's go in and check out her office.
go in and check out her office. Wink, wink.
Oh, before we do that, I'm gonna ask Bodo if he happens to know anything about do you happen to know anything about her latest any appointment she was supposed to be going towards, or maybe anybody who doesn't like her or doesn't like this business?
Well, two of those are one and the same, and he flips through his desktop planner. Says she had a meeting today. That's, I guess, where she was coming back from with Tengfei de Lirandar. And he points and gestures to the calendar, and the name Tengfei is one word, one name. Tengfei. Tengfei de Lirandar. So dragon marked Lirandar. Heir.
What do we know about the Lirandar house?
The Lirandar house, they are the Mark of Storms. Their most notable contribution to Corvair is the invention of the airships. They have created all of the different airships and also many of the sea galleys that are powered by water elementals. So House Orien, they are sort of the lightning rail travel, coach and like carriage travel and messaging. So courier services, whereas the Lirandar house is sea and air travel. And the two of you who are from the Dragonmarked houses know that there's been, generally for many years, a tense rivalry between the Lirandar and Orien houses.
Well, knowing this, I'll ask, do you know anything about why she would have been meeting Mr. de Lirandar?
I wasn't too privy about many of the business dealings, but I know that he was always trying to, well, it was either move some of his businesses into Terminus Station or vice versa. He was trying to take businesses from Terminus Station, or he was just always trying to make deals with her that she didn't like. She was always afraid that they were going to come take business from the Lightning Rail and Terminus Station, so they were always feuding and stuff, but she didn't really mention why she was going there today. I assumed to have some more negotiations or something.
Did she seem worried or stressed in the past few days or weeks? Anything out of the ordinary?
Yeah, I mean, Katerine and I spent almost every day together, and I did notice last week there was a strange occurrence. She was supposed to be getting lunch with her mother, and everything was as normal. She left with her driver, Barden, and she came back about half an hour later and said that lunch was cancelled. Then she headed out a few minutes later saying that she was going to go grab some coffee before she started working. And then she came back about an hour or so later and said that lunch was wonderful, her mother's doing fine. It was odd, so I guess lunch was back on, or I don't know.
Okay. This may be an Arcana question. Yeah, I don't know if I would have had any, I guess, connection or learning about any magic that affects memory, but does any of this sound like side effects of like a modified memory spell or something, or like enchantment magic?
Varian smart, he is a wizard. He would kind of know these things. Quite possibly. It could maybe even... Who knows what kind of drugs are out on the streets now? Who knows what she was dabbling in? So it could have been magic, but it could also maybe have been a few other things as well.
She just smoked a J and she forgot about it.
Maybe. That's what she was doing with Tengfei. They just went and got high real quick. That's what they were doing.
That's how I want to go. High flung from a car 100 feet. Anyway.
So just to make sure, she was getting lunch with her mom or with Tengfei?
What Bodo was speaking about was about a week ago.
Okay, a week ago.
The lunch with her mom was a week ago, and then the meeting with Tengfei was today.
Today, okay.
Do I already know who Katerine Orien's mother is? Do I have enough knowledge of the Dorian family?
Make a history check.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Ooh, okay, that's gonna be a 23.
You know their entire family history, apparently.
Just a little light reading.
You recall Katerine Orien's mother, Phyllis Orien. She also lives over near where you and Oleg live in Mithril Tower, not too far from Alden de Orien. But Phyllis Orien is that, old lady down the block, typically standing out in her yard, looking in at people who are walking by, gossiping, all that kind of stuff. Kind of just your local old lady.
Perhaps we will talk to her after we search the office. But I turn to my companions as if to ask any more questions for Bodo.
Yeah. Who else works in this office?
Oh, well, most of the people we have are just runners going back and forth. Katerine and I handle a lot of the business ourselves. Sometimes a bit overwhelming, but we just have a couple hirelings around Terminus Station that help us contact other businesses and whatnot. But mostly just the two of us.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. And he walks over and opens up her office door for you.
Thank you.
So you walk into her office. It is a minimalistic, but there's still trinkets, there's still decorations to it. And so when you walk in, the first thing you see dominating the center of the office is a small, very intricately made model of Terminus Station with a little model lightning rail that rolls back and forth on the tracks. And you can see that it's like a magically made thing, and so the lightning rail just kind of hovers and moves back and forth in front of the station. It's very cute, and you look a little bit closer, and there's actual little figurines, little models of people standing on the station floor. Each of you, you can make me either an investigation or a perception check for me.
Gladly.
And you can let me know what check it is.
I want to do a perception check.
I'll do investigation.
Perception.
Can I get some boat emotes in the chat for Alan's submarine?
Back.
It's back.
Boats back, baby!
Boats, boats, boats.
Boats, boats, boats! So
That's
Wendelin,
an
18
investigation
investigation. Wendelin, what'd you get?
I got a 14 perception.
Okay, and Spike.
18 perception.
And Travis, are you there?
He had a bounce real quick. He said BRB.
Oh, gotcha. Missed that. So
I am. Sorry, I just got
Oh,
back. Like, I
hello.
literally just heard you roll for something, so I don't know what I'm
Perfect.
rolling for.
Perception or investigation?
Investigation it is. That is going to be a 10.
Nice.
Fat 10.
So the four of you, over the course of a few minutes looking around, you see that most of the things of note, such as documents, any kind of books, ledgers, things, are mostly boring paperwork. It's a lot of nitpicky business stuff, administrating the businesses and houses that have franchises in Terminus Station. You notice that there are a few of those little restaurants that are written down in here, and contracts made out to them, correspondence with some of their owners, a lot of administrative stuff, but nothing that catches you, catches your interest. You notice that in a open, decorative box on a bookshelf nearby, with all sorts of matter of business books, local fiction, things like that. On either side, you see a decorative box that has a set of jade stones in it, set with the unicorn symbol of House Orien, and a set of jade earrings. Additionally, you're moving around, you see that there is a something covered, like a large tarp, over in the corner of the room, and you can hear rustling coming from beneath the tarp. And then you also open up a cabinet, and there is a file that's stored away in one of the drawers of a cabinet that it's unlabeled, but when you pilfer through it a bit, it seems to be several letters from Tengfei de Lirindar.
Interesting. What's the general content of the letters?
A lot of tenuous letters. A lot of Tengfei seeming irritable and saying, well, if you didn't accept my last offer, I can't imagine you'll accept this one, but I have to pitch it anyway. And it's all sorts of stuff about him trying to put more of his related franchises into Terminus Station, wanting to buy out certain stalls in the station, all sorts of stuff that's essentially him trying to occupy more space at Terminus Station and its towers, and her saying no, and then him getting frustrated and then back and forth for what seems like a long time. So it's not necessarily bad or hateful, just tense correspondence.
Well, sometimes a tenuous relationship can explode into violence.
Sunglasses come on.
Yeah,
Gwendolyn.
give me a few minutes. I'll think of a pun. Anyway,
Spike.
Open up that, take that tarp off that thing over there.
I take that tarp off that thing over there.
Before he does it, I have my gun ready just to see if anything's about to pop out.
I have nothing ready.
I have my gun ready.
I have an owl.
Ooh.
Great. Yeah.
Roll
you're
your
being
owl at
supportive.
Those of you watching the stream, are we frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Looks like we are.
Yeah, it looks like we've been frozen for half a second.
Here, let me refresh it real quick. Let me see if I can
Also,
hear
in
it.
the picture, it looks like Spike
The
and
chat came in. No, we're good now. We're good. Sweet.
Our
it's
video's a little off.
yeah.
The what is?
There you go.
There we go.
So if you don't show the video chat, it looks good. But otherwise,
Yeah, no, I think we're okay now. So, Wendelin, you're removing the cover off of whatever is rustling.
Yes.
You rip back the tarp, and you unveil a bird cage.
Ooh.
In
Kind of bird.
There's a hawk inside that ruffles out its feathers, screeches a little bit. It is a beautiful hawk. It's not really one you've seen, especially around here. Its feathers are kind of white and blonde, with a few like just brown speckles every once in a while. Brown speckled beak. Not sure where it's native to, but definitely not Sharn. And you notice that it has a metal collar kind of around its neck.
I try and read the collar out loud.
As you lean in to read the collar, it squawks at you and kind of gives you a little bit of a start for a second. Oh, that's not what I needed. But once you are actually able to get to an angle to where you can finally freaking read what it is, because you kind of have to get close. You see that it has a cute little name tag. It has its name, Katerine Orien, and where like this address is, and its name is Pickle.
Pickle. I immediately
the
look for
hawk?
treats.
The hawk. You start feeding it treats, and it calms down.
Yeah.
Oh no.
This is cool.
Alright, let's hope Alden likes birds.
Can I check out the model rail station set? Just like look for any like I don't know. I just want to see if there's anything like anything that pops out.
Okay. Make an investigation check then.
Okay. That's a 6, so
It's really detailed. And once you start looking at it, you realize, like, you start kind of pinpointing where you're at, and you look, and the blinds are pulled closed to the window in this office. But you kind of do a little peeking, and it overlooks the actual lightning rail station. And then you look over at the model, and you can find the window to this office. And you can see like a tiny little bird cage inside. You can see a tiny little Katerine Orien sitting at a desk. It's really detailed and cute.
bunch of cool toys in here.
She had quite the setup. Here, I may be overthinking things here, but do we want to perhaps, I don't know, move the furniture a little bit to make sure there's nothing concealed that we haven't seen on first pass?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Cool. If anyone with not a -3 to strength wants to do that,
So
that'd be
everyone
great.
else, besides Varian supervises, everyone else starts pushing the furniture around this office, trying to like move bookcases and cabinets, looking under the desk. National Treasure trying to find any buttons or anything on the side or inside the desk, moving the model around. You don't find anything out of the ordinary, except for a little secret compartment in one of the drawers in her desk that when you flip it down, there's a whiskey bottle in the back, about half empty.
Of course.
Hmm.
I want to try it.
It's that good.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like that's that upper Sharn, nearly Skyway level whiskey. It is.
That's
good.
some desk whiskey right
Yeah.
there.
That's that celebration whiskey. Or
Nice.
that's a.
And every day is a celebration.
And every day's a celebration.
Hey, Liv Moss, am I right?
Stop.
Taco Bell, please sponsor us.
Taco Bell, please.
Well, I'm not sure there's anything else to be found here. So let's surmise what we've got so far. She was dead before she hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
She was not killed in the carriage. Probably not killed in the carriage, or else they did a damn good job of cleaning it up. The carriage was covered in some sort of caustic liquid, with the connection to the desk. She had a weird incident about a week ago, with possibly involving enchantment or memory modification magic involving her mother, and then she had a tenuous relationship with the Tengfei Lirindar. So, as far as I see it, the good people to talk to right now would be Barden, the driver, when he wakes up, Tengfei de Lirindar, and Phyllis Orien.
Personally, I think we should talk to Tengfei.
I would agree.
I concur. Let's be strategic in how we go about this. Tengfei de Lirindar is a powerful man, and we need his cooperation, conscious or unconscious, if we're gonna find out what really happened here.
Hmm.
Cool.
So you're thinking like a good cop, bad cop situation? Are you thinking maybe like a hostage situation where he doesn't see our face, or maybe just like no torture, torture off the table, or
Okay, let's put a pin in all of those. Let's put a pin way down at the bottom of the corkboard for the hostage situation idea. I was thinking maybe good cop.
no, that doesn't work.
I don't do good cop.
Yes, that's why. No, we're not sending you to talk to the grieving mother.
You what? You don't think that would be a good...
Okay, how about we do this? How about we do good cop, bad cop. Bad cop in the wings, waiting to swoop in.
It doesn't seem like you appreciate my particular conversation.
No, I appreciate it so much.
Do you?
Yeah, yes.
I do not feel
we
this
wouldn't have run away
appreciation.
in Kyber's Gate if you hadn't used your particular touch to flamethrower those goblins.
That is true.
So you're thinking of like a
Still
good
see-
cop, bad deputy situation.
Yeah, that a good cop and a bad deputy.
Mm.
Andy Griffith and Barney Fife kind of situation.
Yes, the recognizable Sharn here. Barney Fife is definitely a goblin.
That's true. Barney Fife is definitely a goblin. Oh no.
Mm. Mm.
Ah, maybe I should have came up with more Sharn-based character.
Hey man, I stuck in Nancy Drow last time. You're fine.
I'm just saying, Andy Griffith and Barney Fife are now official cops in Sharn. Logan.
Legendary cops.
Yeah,
Andy
your
Griffith
mic is
and
lifted up,
Fife.
so I can't hear you. By the way,
Is that gonna be your I know a guy for this session?
is Andy Griffith? No, not yet.
Barney Fife.
Wizened former detective Andy Griffith.
I just really want to know. I just really want to know Barney Fife and his like way of shooting the gun randomly. And are you? That reminds me a lot of. Never mind, y'all. Never mind.
Are we not old enough,
Okay.
Travis? Is that what you're about to say?
No,
Oh.
I was about to say it reminds me a lot of second season of Dimension 20.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not old enough.
Oh hey,
Spring break, I
chat,
believe in you.
chat. If you're repping Barney Fife, drop some F's in the chat.
F for Fife.
F for Fife.
Fucking stupid. So
Yeah, we got lost. on
Can we get a
Fife.
random encounter where Barney Fife shows up?
you can if you do. If you have enough points, you can do exclamation point redeem space something happens, and Barney Fife and Andy Griffith will make an appearance. So, the four of you, where are you headed to? Are you headed to Tengfei or are you headed elsewhere?
Should we bring the hawk?
Sure.
Who's gonna watch after it if we don't?
Oh, I can.
I'm, Oh,
Perhaps
no.
Waldo?
Well,
I mean, look. If you want the hawk, I'm not going to stop you, but
you'll
I
have.
mean, at least
you
like
have
take care. Like Pickles was hiding. Like it was under a tarp and everything.
I think they do that to make them think it's night.
It is night, right?
No, it's like noon.
Oh,
Wyndham, what is your?
I thought it was nighttime this whole time.
I just really like the idea that, that there's going to be a pet hawk, and maybe it will get along with your owl. Except probably try to kill it, but that's not the point.
Please, guys.
You can. I mean, I don't care.
I said I'm not going to stop you.
You might want
Alright.
to. They usually have gloves for this kind of thing. I don't know how the whole holding the bird.
Bodo peeks his head into the door and he says, "I'm about to be heading out." Oh, are you met Pickle?
Yeah.
Yes. Who is? Do you take care of Pickle? Like who takes care of Pickle?
Oh, Katerine and I do. It was her personal messenger hawk.
Oh.
She would use it to send messages around. She has magical means of sending messages and stuff, but she liked having the aesthetic of the hawk messenger.
Would you like to take care of Pickle now, or are you hoping?
If not, I
mean,
can.
Yes, we have options.
I totally can.
I mean, the collar that Pickle wears is magical, so he can magically deliver messages with ease. So
Ooh.
I mean, if you'll think Pickle will be useful, that'd be fine.
I mean, I don't want to take away your pet friend person. I mean, if you've grown attached to Pickle, I don't know. I am,
but it's better than him being stuck in a cage while I travel around.
We're gonna be
Right.
traveling around. Did I miss this?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I must have skipped.
I'm just leaving the office, and I'm gonna be heading out to cover any business I may need to for Katerine and go see your family, see your mother, all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Is there some way to contact you while you're away, just in case, you know? I mean, we can keep the bird, and maybe the bird can contact you.
That could work. Any Orien messenger, if you could grab one, that'd be fine. But I mean, Pickle would probably be the easiest way.
Okay, we'll hold on to Pickle. If you end up very much missing Pickle, we can give you back Pickle after this whole shindig is over.
Okay.
Is there like a glove?
Oh yeah. And there's like a drawer underneath the cage. Pulls out and says, "Here."
Gwendolyn says with bloody talon marks.
Can I see? Is there a way to see the last message Pickle sent?
Is there a voicemail on Pickle?
Is there a star 69 to figure out what the last call was?
Looking as the look up.
I have to look up. Voicemail the spell.
Voicemail, comma.
Where's the Pickle manual?
The pickle character sheet that I drew up.
Pickle's 9th level. Pickle's higher than us.
Yeah. Says, no. Once the message is delivered, it's delivered.
That's a shame.
I open the cage.
Pickle screeches and flies around the office for a minute or two. Everyone ducking, getting shit on. But then eventually, Gwendolyn, Bodo hands you like a dead rat that's been kept in the drawer as like a treat. Hands it to you and says, "Just yell his name. Just yell his name."
Pickle.
Is the drawer refrigerated?
Totally. And eventually,
Okay.
Pickle lands on your gloved arm now and snatches the dead rat out of your hand.
And Gwendolyn's just gonna be like this the whole
The
session.
whole time.
Are you gonna be carrying this thing around?
Yeah, why
Are you
not?
gonna be carrying this thing? Okay, well, maybe not the smartest decision, just in case we get in gunfire. I don't know what this here Pickle is gonna do in the middle of a gunfight, but seems
Should
like
I
a
bring
good
the
way.
Cage?
I don't know if
Cage is
maybe
pretty
we
big.
should keep Pickle here, until we know we aren't gonna get shot at. I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. You could have another Pickle if Pickle dies.
You're saying pickle so much.
I mean, it's Pickle.
Pickle a boy or a girl?
Lots of pickle talk going on.
Yes, I'm just saying. It's up to you. I like to fire my gun.
Pickle's
We're
smart.
well aware.
You could send Pickle away if things get bad, and he'll just fly around.
Really?
Okay, so you knows how to do that already.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, good. Okay, you can keep Pickle then. That's fine.
This Pickle got a last name.
Orien?
Dang it,
Oh.
you messed up my joke. Oh, never mind then.
Pickle is his first name. It's Pickle.
Pickle.
Pickle. Perhaps
Okay,
it's
let's move on.
time we were going.
New party member acquired.
Oh my god.
Cool. Let's go see Tengfei de Leondar.
So,
It's fine. At least Pickle will contribute more than Cornelius will at this point.
What was that?
a roast. Flaming roast. So, you make your way back up through the various terminus station, Lower Tavix Landing towers, all the way back up to the Sky Coach docking station. You notice that there are far fewer people up here than there were when you docked. So that now it's your Sky Coach and another commercial Sky Coach. And you notice that there are figures standing around and on your Sky Coach.
I pull out my gun.
Immediately.
I let Pickle take a walk. Or a fly.
Pickle flies away.
I approach and say, "Would you like to tell me why you're on my sky coach, or would you like to die?"
So the figures whip around. You see that there are two on the dock itself and two standing on the sky coach. When they whip around, you see that on the sky coach are two shifters of some kind of dog or wolf origin. Clawed hands, ratty leathers and clothes. And then standing on the dock are two harpies. Wearing very fine but sort of hand-me-down hold silk clothes. Their wings ripped through the back, and they all whip around, and one of the shifters punches the other and says, "See, I told you it was them." As we were just having a look. We thought we recognized you. We thought we just wanted to double check, make sure it was you.
Okay, well, you have filmed me, now what's up? Or would you still like to get off of my thing before I shoot you? You don't have much time.
Oh, nothing. And you see one of the shifters, the wolf one, kind of larger than the other, is holding Katerine Orien's briefcase. Well, you had collected from the crime scene. It says, "This is a fine little satchel you got here. It's a tax, we'll say, just for parking at our docks here."
Okay, well, this is the second time. And I go ahead and point the gun at him and say, "Albert, I can give you a tax by just killing you instead. Now, give me about 5 seconds. Tell me why I shouldn't."
Have my gun ready.
Now, gentlemen, I'm sure this doesn't need to escalate.
Did they say anything in the 5 seconds that he is stuttering?
The big wolf one drops the briefcase and says, "Fine, we were just trying to have a little fun. Trying to initiate you into our local neighborhood, but
I mean, you can initiate by not standing on my fucking car and get the fuck over here and get... stop trying to threaten me lightly. Initiate. Fuck you. Get the fuck off my car."
Make an intimidation check, Oleg, with advantage.
Okay, great. Advantage is always a good thing.
Yeah, it is. With that +0 charisma.
All right, I have proficiency now on this thing. All right,
Good stuff.
Ooh, big man on campus.
it's a natural 20. Okay.
The two harpies fly up into the air and just giggle and cackle to themselves. The two shifters step off of your sky coach, and they say, "Fine, we'll see you next time. Then I'm sure you'll be back at some point. We'll see you soon."
Okay. Why do you want to know about us? Well, I mean, we're in the neighborhood. Did you have anything to do with this here suitcase?
Oh no,
But
and
if
we
he's-
already knew who you were. We just wanted to double check to make sure it was actually you.
Okay. Well, next time, leave a message. Maybe stand not on my sky coach. That would be good. I won't point the gun at you next time.
He walks past you, kind of gets a little too close, and says, "All right, sounds good."
Has he set down the briefcase yet?
Yeah, he
did.
put it down. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then the two harpies fly away, like soaring down the towers, while the two shifters take the stairs, just mumbling to each other.
Quickly, before they get out of eye, since they're just muttering and walking the stairs, quickly, I want to make sure that there's nothing else taken from my sky coach.
Make a perception check for me.
Can I do an investigation instead?
Sure.
Yeah, can I help him investigate?
Sure. Make it an advantage.
Okay. That's going to be a 25.
25. You check, the briefcase is just laying on the floor now. They most definitely have rifled through some of the supplies and stuff on the Sky Coach, but it doesn't seem that anything's missing. And then you glance over and you look at the controls of the Sky Coach, and you start thinking like, oh, fuck. And you look really closely. Everything's where it was. Nothing.
No
nothing
oil, no
sabotaged,
anything
no
like that?
strange oils, nothing.
Okay. I'll look underneath the hood if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing with the Sky Coach.
It's not really a thing. It's powered by
I'm gonna
magic.
try turning it on and see if it starts.
Yeah, I will turn it on. And see if they left. Maybe they left like a nice little note card that says, "Hey, we're the Harpies. Fuck off," or something.
Or they, I don't know. They like pooped under the seat.
Yeah, that was their calling
They
card.
haze you, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see anything out of the ordinary. It looks like they were just snooping around.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll allow it.
Wow.
Can we surmise like? What were you? Oh, sorry.
Are any of these people familiar to us, or?
Yeah. I was gonna ask if we recognize some sort of like gang or criminal organization affiliation.
Make a history check, both of you.
Oop. That's gonna be a 6 for me.
13.
Spike, you recall, while not necessarily a headquarters or a meeting spot or anything, the grimy apartments in Lower Tavik's Landing and like above Terminus Station, some members of the... Can you guys hear that beeping?
Yeah, your
Yeah.
fire alarm's going off.
Yeah, Rachel's burning the apartment now. That's fine. That
As one does.
As
yeah.
one does. The grimy apartments in Lower Tavik's
A real
Landing
Barney Fife move, if you will.
Yeah.
are
Fife
some of
in the
them
chat.
Fifes in the chat. Some of the apartments are occupied by members of the Dask criminal organization. This is where you had encountered them previously when searching for Gara. You found Gara's apartment in Terminus Station, Tavik's Landing. So, Spike, you would surmise them, snooping around, talking about attacks, doing some bullshit, that they were probably Dask members trying to do something. Get some info, something.
Gotcha.
Cool. Well, desk, they burn pretty easily, so no big deal.
I
Think they're pissed off that we killed the last guys?
Probably. I mean,
we've pissed them off pretty seriously on a number of occasions.
yeah, so
It's gonna be one of those situations where they keep following us until we just kill all of them. Because I mean,
yeah,
I'd be
How
down.
many of these
I
guys
was
have
on
y'all
it.
killed?
I lost count a long time ago.
probably,
Honestly, I don't even count the amount of people I've killed.
That's a disturbing thing you've
That's
just
terrifying.
Varian,
Yeah.
do you count the number of people you've killed?
said. I don't think I have killed somebody. Damn it!
See, listen, son. When you go to war, listen, you can't keep count. It's just something that happens.
Oh, that's right. You're a vet. That's
You count as many
That's
times.
different.
Listen, you count as many times as you're like, yeah, I don't know, yeah. Misfire your gun? No, you don't count that.
What,
let it happen.
how many times are you misfiring your gun?
I don't count it. I don't count it. See, I don't know.
This.
I don't count.
Okay.
I mean,
well,
just for repair purposes, that might be wise to keep account of how many times your gun is misfiring. But okay, the metaphor is falling apart. Let's.
it is time to move on, of course.
So, you move on.
Oh yeah, I fetch pickle.
When did your bookcase move behind your desk?
Oh, I did that this past week, so that way I can have a nice
Backdrop
backdrop. I
before
got
the
some
door?
electric candles going.
Ooh.
I fixed
Yeah,
my
I
lighting
saw-
so that way I have some roundabout good lighting. So yeah, I'm upgrading.
Nice.
So
I saw Rachel's setup the other day. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
she has something similar, right?
well, the bookshelf kind of bleeds into both of our setups, so it worked out.
Ah,
So Oleg and Varian, make a history check for me
he's
Gladly.
to see if you know where to find
Ooh,
Tengfei Lyrandar.
Jesus.
am
I'm
proficient
not
in
rolling
this.
super well. That's gonna be a 7 for me.
26.
Yes, Alan?
26. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if they couldn't get it, because I saw like the trajectory of like where the sky coach was going.
You did see that. So, Oleg, you recall that Tengfei being one like near the tippy top of the Lyrandar, like everything, the Lyrandar enclave, in Sharn, because you know that Tengfei Lyrandar is the current administrator of Lyrandar Tower, where the airships dock and all sorts of businesses. It is a massive ordeal. So he's not one to be found in even lower or the middle city. In fact, you know that he has sort of a neutral, not well-run office in at Lyrandar Tower. He has what equates to a vacation home in the Skyway, where that's where he spends most of his time. However, his working life and his main office is on an airship that circles Sharn. And when Wendelin brings up the trajectory of the sky coach and what direction it was coming from, you imagine that it was likely coming from the skies around Sharn, not Upper Sharn. And you know that his airship is called the Surge.
And Lyrandar's ship is called the Surge? Is
Yes.
that what you... The Surge.
The Surge.
What a fucking ballsy name.
Sounds like, I don't know, like a surf rock band from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like a band that would play at App State's
Yeah.
State's campus.
Like convocation, like yeah.
Yeah. Or
hey,
in a
man,
house
you
party.
going to the saloon tonight? The Surge are playing.
Yeah.
That's for all you boonies.
Vanilla
Yeah.
envelopes opening for him.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
But also Oleg with a 26. You also know that Tengfei Lyrandar is sort of that classic, like sociopathic CEO.
Gwendolyn, your bird's making some weird noises.
Is it recording voicemail?
Are you sure you don't want to go check on Rachel, make sure she's not casually burning
Yeah,
up
what's she
everything?
doing?
I love that feature of being able to lift up your mic and having it mute. That's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Right? Why you? I might pick
All you
somebody
beautiful
there.
people in the chat, I hope you're doing well tonight. Dropping
Yes.
toilet
Pickles
cat
in the
there,
chats.
doing well.
Okay, Carson, can you explain Toilet Cat to me?
Yeah.
Okay, so last time on Monday night stream, when you talked about having a small bladder and having to go to the bathroom a lot, somebody, it may have been me, I don't know, somebody was just like, drop some toilets in the chat, and I did, and then I was going to drop some more, but I accidentally hit a cat emoji too, so it became Toilet Cat.
Perfect.
Oh no.
Toilet Cat, drop some Toilet Cats in the chat.
Toilet Cat's in the chat.
So Oleg, you know that Tengfei Lyrandar is that like classic stereotype of the CEO sociopath. He is a raving businessman who will cut deals. He is skilled, but also scary. And there's this whole ordeal about he always likes to do business on his airship when he can overlook Sharn because it gives him the inspiration and the motivate, all sorts of stuff like that.
Mm.
For lore things, sky coaches are flying boats, essentially. They're flying carriages. However, sky coaches can only operate within a certain parameter around Sharn. So if you tried to fly your sky coach across the world, just outside of Sharn, it's sort of like a cell phone connection, or a Wi-Fi connection. Like eventually your ship will depower and fall. It's sort of connected to a sort of arcane power grid in a way. So you can reach his airship that's floating around Sharn, but going out past it and way outside of Sharn, your sky coach will deactivate and crash.
Huh.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Cool. Let's try to find that airship.
So, it takes some time, probably about 15 or so minutes flying around Sharn to find the correct airship. But once you do, you see the airship being a massive balloon up top with what looks like a massive galley underneath, with some kind of big elemental ball of energy at its back end that seems to be thrusting it forward through the air. You see all along the side, it's sort of like flames on the side of the car, except lightning bolts along the hull, the front of the hull, and then fading as it gets to the back.
He's compensating for something. With the House Lyrandar crest carved on either side, which looks like a wreath of tentacles and lightning, the mark of the storm. There are docking ports on either side for you to pull your sky coach up. You see that there are guards patrolling all along the edges of the airship, and then the surge and beautiful calligraphy on the side. Once you pull up and park your sky coach, one of these armed personnel, you notice that they are all wearing sort of very ornate matching doublets with the crest of House Lyrandar on them, but clearly these doublets are armored underneath, kind of like bulletproof vests in a way, and they're all holding these strange glass tubes that resemble guns with a little trigger, but they are just glass tubes with some kind of gem at the back end of it. Oleg, with your 26, you're not exactly sure how these work, but you have heard that sort of the upper echelon of guards for House Lyrandar essentially carry lightning guns. They shoot bolts of lightning, like guns do. As far as you know, it's more of an aesthetic thing for the Mark of Storm, but you imagine that they're probably pretty damn effective. But as you park your sky coach, one of these armed personnel, classic Arnold Schwarzenegger type, huge buzz cut, rock solid jaw, 6.5 feet tall, walks over, says, "What brings you to the search? Did you have business with Tengfei?"
Yes, we have business with Tengfei. We were hoping to talk to him about his reaching meeting with Katerine.
Yes.
There's been an unfortunate accident, and we would appreciate Tengfei's cooperation in just piecing together what might have happened.
He looks and spots the House Madani and House Kundrak on the two of you, eyes the other two and says, "That should be alright. Tengfei's next meeting isn't for another 20 minutes or so, so you'll just need to make it quick." And he points to one of the doors at the back side of the deck and says, "His office is that door right over there. You can head over. We'll keep an eye on your coach for you. Let us know if you need anything else."
Thank you.
And so he leads you away, but then just kind of points you over to the door, and then walks back to continue guarding at his post. You see the other armed personnel. They're not nearly as big and intimidating as that guy was. They're all varying origins of half-elven. Some have snow white pale skin, some have incredibly dark skin, dark hair, but all half-elven, so some kind of agents of House Lyrandar. But you walk over to the door of the cabin at the backside of the airship. Once more, the crest of House Lyrandar, the tentacles and lightning. You see that the doorknob is some kind of blue gem that's all jagged. It gives you the essence of like lightning magic, lightning aesthetic. So this airship is done up beautifully.
They certainly know their branding.
Yeah, thunder.
Visit
more lightning.
Urge gift shop for some sweet Leandar merch.
Totally. So you enter into his office. And that's where we'll stop and take a toilet cat break.
Hey.
And use the restroom, take a short rest, get some snacks and drinks. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes to have this negotiation. So
All you toilet cats, thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.
We'll be back soon. Bye-bye.
That's why intimidation is like charisma is not always the
Yeah.
the best.
So, the four of you are about to enter into Tengfei de Lyrandar's airship office on the Surge. You open up the door, grabbing that blue crystal doorknob. You open up to a beautifully ornate office, lovely colorful rug, a massive window that overlooks the city of Sharn from the back of the airship, a beautiful desk at the center, but something's off. There is no one else in here. There seems to have been some kind of scuffle in here. There are papers scattered everywhere. Spell shards, that gem that can record words like a book, are scattered across the floor. You then spot spatters of blood on the walls and on the floor, and cracks in that observation window that overlooks Sharn. But no body and no one in here.
I would like to shout back towards the guards, so that they don't think that we did it, because we just opened the door. I don't know if he was watching us that whole time.
He was not.
I want yell back to what's his name? Did he even give us a name?
You're gonna learn his name.
It's a dude.
Your guards.
I have a name, you know. He shouts back.
Okay, well, how do you like blood on floor?
Is that a threat? And he starts
No.
walking over to you.
Oh, look, it sounds like a threat.
There's blood on the floor.
Everything he says sounds like a threat. It's an observation.
He's simply stating the facts, sir.
Something bad happened.
He says, "What are you?" And then he sees into the office, elbows the fuck out of the four of you guys, and bursts into the office.
A little unnecessary.
Looks around, emerges back, and yells out to the other guards and says, "Master Lyrandar's gone! Search the airship!" And everyone, chaos ensues. People
I'm
start
gonna
boarding
run
the
out
airship.
to him and say, "When is the last time you saw him?"
His meeting with Katerine. But then she left and it was fine.
How long ago was that?
Maybe 2 or 3 hours, I don't know.
Okay, set up a perimeter. see what you can find, but I doubt he's still on the ship. I'm gonna run in. How congealed is the blood? How fresh is it?
Make a medicine check.
Okay. Okay, not bad. That's gonna be a 16.
You clock this blood being about 2-ish hours?
Ooh.
Maybe a little bit less.
Oh god. Yeah. I'm beginning to wait. Okay, let's consider what might have happened here. Either this blood belongs to Tengfei, to Liandar, and he is also gone, or this is where Katerine Orien was killed.
Is it possible?
While Travis hums, a full picture of the room is a massive, beautiful wooden desk at its center, beautiful rug, a wardrobe off to the side, sort of a tall curio cabinet almost, bookshelves on the other side, and then the massive window that's cracked in a few places.
So it's cracked, but it's not like shattered.
It looks like impact points.
Okay. Are there weapon marks? Are there spell scorches or spell residue? Anything like that?
Interesting. Make an Arcana check.
Gladly.
I have a plus a lot to this. Don't roll badly.
Okay. 16. Again.
16. You don't necessarily pick up any like magic residue or anything, and just based off the impact marks, you're not sure the magical configurations of the airship. So you're not sure if like this glass is magical or anything, so it's hard to narrow down if there's anything magical about these hits or anything in the room.
I mean, do any of them seem like fist-sized?
Possibly, either a very strong fist or a bludgeoning weapon.
Is there an indent?
An indent?
Yeah, where these impacts are.
In the glass, it's more just cracked. But
Okay.
around the room, you do see a few more like hits. It looks like impact marks, where it's dented in a little bit, but.
Can I use my armband things to try and like make an impression of the impacts and see if like
You could. That would just it would prevent you from using them as weapons later if you needed to.
Okay. Can I try with like just one of my armbands then?
Sure. You take an impression of one of the impact hits.
Would
See if it looks
Oleg
like
like
one.
to aid me in a generalized investigation check?
Oleg would love to.
Thank you.
Oleg
Look
would
at
love to do something.
Oleg loves investigating. Oleg also happens to love killing.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's see if we'll add the d4 to that. Okay. That is going to be a 21.
21. 21. A few things. Getting a quick scan of the papers that have been scattered around. Most of it is involving the businesses of Lyrandar Tower, Sort of the Lyrandar equivalent of what Katerine was doing. All of the shops and things in Lyrandar Tower, he was administrating. Plus all sorts of other outside vendors and outside works and trades and things like that. But you do spot a few letters that he's exchanged with Katerine Orien. From her side of her claiming that he's trying to steal their business and House Lyrandar is trying to destroy House Orien and all sorts of stuff. Additionally, you notice that the observation window with all of its various impact points, there are a few panes of glass that have latches on them that allow them to swing open to let in air, and one of them is unlocked.
I think we've found our point of entry.
You also notice a bit... It's almost as if, like, you're looking around, you're looking at the papers, you're looking at the window, and then you hear a dull, like, sound. And your brain immediately starts running. You're like, there was no one I'm with that would cause that kind of, like, light sound. And you start scanning the room, until you notice a slight trickle, like just a drop of blood drip from the bottom of the cabinet at the side of the room and onto the floor.
Mage hand, open up the cabinet. Is it unlocked?
It is unlocked.
Cool.
Whoop! You mage hand open the cabinet, and a half-elven, well-dressed body tumbles out into the floor, bloodied and wounded. It does not move. It does not seem to be breathing.
Okay. Can I cast Cure Wounds on it?
You sure can.
Okay, I cast Cure Wounds at... Let's go with first level.
Okay.
Sure.
And nothing happens. You reach down and the body is unmoving and dead.
Shit.
And you, Oleg, as you go down to cast Cure Wounds, you recognize it as Tengfei de Lyrandar, grievously beaten to death.
Beaten to death.
Beaten. Like, blunt force to the head, the body covered in blood, cuts, and now forming bruises.
Well, there goes suspect number one.
I'm gonna go ahead and just...
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna go outside and like snap at one of the guards, kind of get his attention.
Okay. You grab that same Arnold Schwarzenegger-looking guard, towards and says, "What'd you find in there?"
I found the... Unfortunately, I found the body.
He's dead.
He is, yes. Looks like he's beaten pretty badly to death, yes.
How? He was in his office all alone. Varian. As you, Spike, and Wendelin are left in there. Actually, Wendelin and Spike, you notice that painted in blood on the inside of the cabinet door is the number 3 with the phrase "Fallen House." Varian, you see that as well, and then when you see Oleg, he had flipped over Tengfei, you spot what's written on the door, but then we look down at Tengfei, he has a violet gemstone shoved into his mouth.
Is it like 3- Fallen House? I'm sorry. Or is it
It's just the number 3, and then beneath it, the word fallen, or the words Fallen House.
How big of a gemstone is this? Is it just like
fist-sized? Maybe if it's
so
smaller.
it's really wedged in there.
Yeah.
I'll investigate.
What are you wanting to ascertain, or trying to?
If it's just a gemstone, or if it carries some sort of magical quality to it,
Yeah.
or if it has any special significance.
Make an Arcana check, or if you want to use Detect Magic or Identify, you can do that as well.
I'll start out with Arcana check. All right, that's going to be a 26.
You see a number of these laying around. You've seen them before. They're spell shards, essentially magical books in a gemstone. You see that it has the same sort of composition as a spell shard, but it doesn't match the ones that are scattered around the office. This one's different. And spell shards, like books, they can store a lot of information. You can read them and access them like books, except when created, they're created with a passphrase. And so pretty much someone gets one created for them, they say the passphrase, that's what it becomes. There was something else I was going to say, fuck. Pretty much they're all locked with a passphrase determined by the creator or whoever they're creating it for. So accessing someone else's spell shard is nearly impossible.
Okay, well, can I wedge it out of his mouth?
You sure can.
Cool, I do that. How does one input a passphrase?
Pretty much you hold it and you either say or... You pretty much just whisper or mumble it to yourself. You say the
Okay,
passphrase.
I'm gonna whisper 3 fallen houses.
3 fallen houses does not work.
3
3 does not work.
fallen houses.
Fallen house is what it says. Fallen house. Fallen house
Cool.
will work. You access it, and spell shards can hold dozens and dozens and dozens of pages of information. This
Page
one,
3.
This one has barely 3 sentences of information. Nowhere. Hello? There we go. The information in the spell shard is simply this. Time will pass forth. Forth as in the number. Time will pass forth, but we will chat soon. How about a head start? M-O-H.
Time will pass forth. We will speak soon.
God damn it, Riddler.
Hint, M-O-H.
Yeah. Time will. We will speak soon. What was the next line?
We will chat soon. How about a head start? M space capital M space little o space capital H.
M-O-H.
Do any of us recognize M-O-H?
Also, is this seeing anything like the Dask would do? I think the Dask is a little less trickery and more blunt, but just trying to know.
Yeah, what do you know about the Dask? There, and Alan, this can also be for you as well, since you've not really, as Alan, you've not had experiences with them, but as Wendolyn, you likely would have. The Dask is sort of an up-and-coming criminal organization just behind the Boromar clan, which is equivalent to the typical pop culture mafia that you see. But the Dask, they are monstrous immigrants from the lands of Drome. And by monstrous, I mean things like gnolls and goblins and harpies, lizard folk, things like that. And so they have come to Sharn and they've started up this criminal organization because people view them as monsters. And so they're like, well, fuck it, we're gonna get in on this shit. Generally, though, goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears, orcs, they're fine, but they have normal places in the city of Sharn and in life in general. They are not as monstrous in other D&D worlds. But the Dask has formed from those immigrants who have been sort of mistreated, who have turned to this life of crime. And originally, the Dask was all about extortion. You know, that classic pay me money to keep your shop safe. However, they've started dipping into more things like drug trade and like fencing of goods, selling, trading of illegal goods, all sorts of stuff. But as most of you would know, they are pretty much confined to Kyber's Gate, which is a very, very low part of Sharn. So the Dask don't really have much access to specialty magic and amazing resources and things. They tend to be a bit more brutish when it comes to their crimes and whatnot.
So, assaulting a high-ranking member of a dragon-marked house aboard his airship would be a bit beyond what I'd imagine they'd be capable of.
Didn't we
I think
hear? Sorry, did we
No, go ahead.
hear about in this particular lifetime? Didn't we hear about the fake house that was rising up, or like a criminal organization that was a house?
Yes, House Tarkanan. They were a phony, not necessarily phony, but they are a house of people with aberrant dragon marks. Dragon marks that have appeared out of nowhere with no relation to the other houses.
Yeah, never mind. Okay, there's no houses with H as the last name.
but everyone's dragon mark can do something. MOH. Mark of
Mark
This-
of hospitality, healing,
or
handling.
handling.
Yes, so either Vidalis, Jurasko, or Galandra. Galanda.
Don't we know
Galanda.
someone of House Galando? Don't we know?
You stayed at
So-
Galanda Hall, and there was this dragon marked guy who was running it at the time who gave you some
Yago.
good berries.
Yago again.
Yeah.
Yago.
The Galanda.
It can't be Yago. Not Yago.
Happen to be Yago.
If Yago did it, we'll help it cover it up.
I'll commit to a life of crime for Yago.
Well, I'm suspecting not so much that they're hoping to cover. I'm thinking this is the next victim, less so the next.
Someone of this mark.
Yes,
It's possible.
but it says
Fourth
fallen
time will
houses, right?
pass.
Or fallen house. Do we know anything about the house that is fallen? Have we asked that?
Whoever wants to, make a history check for me. If
Oh,
the house is of significance.
Can I try to recall any
Dirty 20.
past recent deaths of a member of a house?
Totally. So, Wendland, you can also make a history check with that intent. Oleg, you had a dirty 20. Varian, what'd you have?
13.
13. You're rolling bad on history checks.
Yeah, I have rolled over a 10 maybe twice.
I mean, you're going to school, man. You're learned.
I know.
And Spike, what did you have?
That's 3.
Awesome.
It's all those fireball energy drinks. They're melting my brain.
Oh my god.
And Alan, what'd you get for your history?
Nat 20.
Nice.
Discount 20.
Discount 20 on sale.
And the monk rolled higher than me. Damn it.
Hey, monks are sometimes good with the histories.
Yeah.
So Oleg, to your best recollection, the dragon marked houses, that's all there have been. However, their house, Thrashk, the Mark of Finding, they are fairly new to the scene. You don't necessarily recall if that's because they just weren't recognized until recently, like in the past couple years, or if it's because the mark didn't exist until the past couple years. That you're unsure of. But you don't recall anything about a house disappearing or collapsing or anything.
Okay.
Wendelin, about any other deaths of a dragon-marked member of a house, while Katerine Orien was not dragon-marked herself, she is a member of a dragon-marked house. And you do recall hearing about a diplomat, a visiting member of House Tharashk, just a few days ago, falling from Upper Sharn and dying, impacting on the lower streets below. It was very quickly hushed up, and it never even necessarily made the papers or anything. But you recall hearing that with your, ear to the street that you have, that there was an accident that occurred a few days before of a House Tharashk member falling and dying.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm gonna relay that information to the group, because I think that 3 has to do with how many people have died because of MOH. So we've been at the scene for 2 of these deaths, but there have been 3 total.
And there's gonna be a 4th soon.
And this is a very shitty head start.
Wait a minute. Time will pass 4th, which means the plan's already in motion to kill 4th. If time will pass, that means we need to find 4th quick to prevent it. But here's the thing, though. So we have House Tharashk as 1. What's the second house? Orien?
Yes.
And Leondar.
Leondar. And so now next is MOH. So someone
Either handling, healing, or hospitality. Both yeah, so I don't know which would make sense. Thrashk was a house of finding. I don't know. I mean, is there any kind of interaction that we know of? Maybe I'll look through the paperwork of to see if there's any kind of connection between maybe a meeting between Thrashk and our man.
Interesting. Make an investigation check for me.
Can I also just check the body? Like, turn out the pockets, see if there's anything there?
Totally. I need to think on that for a second before I tell you what check it is. Oleg, what'd you get for investigation?
That'd be 19.
19. You search through all sorts of correspondence. It takes you a few minutes to do so, and you don't necessarily find anything that connects Lyrandar to House Tharashk, but you do find a message in response to something in regards to House Tharashk, and it was just a couple days ago. Let me see here. It is a letter from someone named Keena, Keena, Tina Button, like the word button. And it says, "Oh, I would love to join you, but I actually have a dinner tonight. I'm meeting with someone from House Thrashk to make some negotiations. But we'll connect soon." And it was addressed to Tengfei Lyrindar.
Does it specify a date in which this was written?
Yes. Let me actually pull out the book, because I looked up what date it currently is for you guys, and then I did not write it down. Like I do. So currently, after your downtime, you're in the 3rd month of the year, Therendor, which is early spring, equivalent to March. So Varian, you're about to hit some midterm season.
Oh boy.
Good luck with that, buddy. And then let me look at the holidays. Yes. So right now, you are on the 10th of Therendor. And this message was addressed on the 7th of Therendor.
Okay. Whenever Wendelin had mentioned the death, when was that day?
Wendelin, you do not know exactly when it was. You just know it was fairly recent.
Recent.
Okay.
You may have to go do a little bit of footwork to figure it out.
To the library.
So the body.
Yes, the body. I'll let you decide, Varian, and it will impact what kind of information you glean from the body. You can make a medicine check, you can make an arcana check, or you can make an investigation check.
I'll do investigation.
Okay.
Does somebody want to help me?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that you rolled the die, and that clearly means you rolled badly when you're like, who wants to help?
Yep, that was a 4. Okay, cool. Okay, so with advantage, the D4 from market detection, and my modifier, that is a 26.
Investigation. So many of the wounds that Tengfei de Lyrindar has suffered are from a blunt weapon. And especially you were able to deduce the killing blow to the head. However, the wounds are slightly, not even slightly, they are different than the wounds Katerine suffered. They both were apparently killed with a blunt force trauma to the head, but from different sources. And that strikes you as odd. With a 26, I'll throw you this. The degree of the wounds would have had to have been inflicted by a magical weapon or magical source. They are too bloodied and too broken just for a fist or a hammer or a club or anything. It would have had to have been magically reinforced or done by something like force damage or a magical weapon or something like that. Turning out his pockets and whatnot, he was in his office. You notice that in his pocket there's a spell shard, but you don't know the words for it. You try a few and none of them work. But other than that, he seemed to have doffed most of his things in his office, so nothing of major interest in his pockets or anything.
Okay. But if I tried like lightning cool, big blue lightning cool, none of that works.
None of that works. But also with the 26 investigation, You are able to see that Tengfei put up a fight. He did not get snuck up on and clubbed over the head. He fought.
Interesting. All right. And a second question I wanted to ask: from the blood and just, I guess, crime scene analysis, can I tell if both he and Katerine were killed here, or just him?
Ooh, very interesting. Make an investigation check again, and if someone wants to help him once more with this, who would have a similar skill set.
Yeah.
Ah, all right. Finally, two not bad rolls. That's gonna be. Would you believe it? No, not a 26 this time. Wait, is it? Yeah, 26.
I believe it.
17 plus 1 plus 8.
To your best guess, there's not enough blood and general disarray for them both to have been killed here. However, Varian, as a divination wizard, as a smart cookie, as someone who's blitzed on energy drinks and stress all the time,
You know it.
your mind starts to run, and you start thinking like, well, I mean, if Tengfei killed Katerine here, I mean, he could have cleaned it up before he was killed, so maybe, I mean, that would make sense if her stuff wasn't here, or maybe he killed her somewhere else on the ship, maybe, I mean, something else, like, you start running through all the options. There's a lot of variables to account for. So while the literal physical evidence that's here doesn't account for Katerine being killed here, there's also a lot of other things that could have happened, but she still could have been killed there, if that makes sense.
Okay. Interesting. I guess one more question on my end. I'd like to open the pane that is unlocked and I guess check the outside to see if there are any markings or anything that might lead me to believe who came or how they got here.
Absolutely.
What if the killer is still right outside?
Yeah, they're just hanging there the whole time.
Help, I've been here for 3 hours.
End of the campaign. You caught the serial killer. Done.
Yeah, you just take a hammer and rap on their knuckles.
Simba this shit.
Simba that shit. You don't even have to roll anything for this. You open up the window and it pretty much just... It looks out into sky. This is quite literally just the back end, the butt of the ship. So, pretty much, there would be only two options, or we'll say three options. Some very complex climbing gear to allow them to climb alongside of a moving airship, a spell equivalent to spider climb, or a flying spell, to where they could just leap from the window and fly away. Because pretty much those would be the two options, is somehow climbing the backside of the airship or flying away. Or vice versa, flying up to the window or climbing alongside the ship to get through the window. Or rappelling down, I don't know.
I feel like a flying vessel would have been too noticeable, too obvious for this. Whoever did this either gained access to the ship and waited here, or flew up here on their own and did the deed, somehow without being seen on their way or making enough noise during the kill to rouse any of the guards. Right. Well, I'm not sure there's anything else to be gained by staying here. Any ideas on where we hit next?
Yes,
Maybe
I
we
was
can talk to the
hoping that-
guards real quick.
Sure. I think before that, or while we were walking over, maybe we should send your new wonderful falcon. to possibly go and send a message to our cop friend,
Sergeant Filroy?
Sergeant Vilroy, and see about this. See about this when this murder was for Hujamajabi.
The rest?
You always say that.
He just
Hujamajabi.
Yeah, the member of House Thresk. And also maybe we should ask her about Keen the Button. Maybe if she has any information on that.
All right, Pickle. Time for a job.
So, Alan, Wendelin, actually, you don't really know how to properly send a message using
No.
using Pickle.
It's like when Sokka buys hockey.
Yeah, you were just told that Pickle can send messages very well, but you don't really know what to do.
I look Pickle in the eyes.
I can contact her
How
by
do you
magical
work?
means if
Can I-
that's necessary. But
I think that would be good. Can we do can I do an Arcana check on this bird and see if there's any way to deem how a normal message would work?
Yes,
and how
make
a
an
bird
Arcana
message would-
check, please.
I stare into the eyes of Pickle
Okay, Arcana
and
check.
learn
did
his
you do
secrets.
this?
That is going to be a 22.
22. You discern that Pickle is a pretty normal hawk, but just hardy. However, Pickle's collar, its metal collar, is magical.
Hardy enough to beat a man to death?
Maybe not. It doesn't beat him. Pickle's the killer.
Blood force trauma.
Blood with a beak. So Pickle's collar is magical. However, you would need to spend a short rest or use the identify spell to discern what it does, how it works, etc.
Cough, cough.
Huh.
Identify spell.
Cough.
Cough. Do you have identify?
Yes, give me a moment. I'll ritual cast identify. That takes me, what, 10 minutes?
You just cuff
10 minutes.
Pickle.
It does take 10
Yeah,
minutes,
and-
and that one Schwarzenegger, like, security guard walks over, like, partway through your ritual, and starts talking, and is just like, yeah, what's he doing? He's just kind of holding that hawk there. I don't know. I mean,
It's how you
Standard
mate.
procedure.
aren't you supposed
It's
to
how
be,
you mate with the hawk.
aren't you supposed to be figuring out who killed Miss Orien? I guess now, Mr. Lyrandar? I don't. What are you doing here? Why is he holding that hawk like that?
Why are you asking so many questions?
Should he be pulling at its feathers that way? Should he be holding his wings out that far?
Why is it upside down?
That can't be good for the hawk.
What's he doing with his mouth?
This requires intense concentration.
Then he
buddy.
elbows Spike and says, "These university types, they just expect the world of everybody. You know what I mean?"
Oh,
Yes.
I expect
I
3
know
more
what you
minutes
mean.
of silence.
Two people have died today, and he expects us to just sit here and be quiet when we need to be catching some murderers, right? And then he puts his arm around you, Spike.
Okay. First of all, this is genuine leather, so let's not go touching that.
Oh, a man's love wears leather.
Second, you know what will really help out with this investigation?
Yeah. and-
Search the perimeter for us. Make sure there aren't any footsteps or anything like that. I think we've been inside all the time. If we can have you search the perimeter, I think it'd help out.
I mean,
a lot.
we've been doing that, but we didn't really find anything. Spike, make a
Well,
persuasion
search
check
it
for me.
again.
Make a persuasion check for me.
Yes, please talk to this man for me.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
21.
oh my god.
Why have any of us been talking at all during this campaign?
Spike has the highest charisma. Yeah, why are any of us talking?
I love it. He looks at you And it says, do you think we missed something? And it starts
Possibly.
looking around.
Also, be sure to look up too. A lot of people are always looking down, but no one's ever looking up.
That's fair. I mean, being up here on the airship, there's so much to watch. I mean, it's all just a bunch of sky. It's hard to keep it all, but you know, that makes sense. We may have missed something. I don't know if we formally introduced, but you can call me Bernard. That's my real name, but you, and he points at you, Spike, and says, you can just call me Bernie.
Bernie.
I mean,
Well,
we're
nice
in this
to meet you,
together,
Bernie.
man. We're gonna figure out who did this.
Yeah, we're a team. You and I. It's like I'm the
ruling
detective,
class did this.
and you are the quote unquote intern. Sure.
I am once again asking you.
Because maybe we can come up with a new title or something, but we'll brainstorm, we'll workshop it. Then he looks at Varian and says, why is he holding the hawk upside down like that? I mean, the blood's probably
No more
rushing to
questions
his-
about the hawk burning the perimeter. If you want to move up from intern, you gotta stop.
That's fair, and he turns around and says, alright, Gertrude over toward the back, Granville, you're gonna be over there, Dennis, you're gonna be up at the front, Owen, do a quick perimeter of the office once more, check behind them, make sure nothing was missed, Doug, let's go check, and just start shouting orders to everyone.
I took
Very
out a little cloth on my chest and I dusted off of where he touched it.
No, that's genuine leather.
There's something about pronouncing genuine.
Genuine.
It's so funny.
So Varian, you finish the identify spell. And effectively this collar, while Pickle wears it, allows its owner, which owner is sort of interpretive. As of right now, Gwendolyn would be the owner. Depending on how much time Pickle spends with the rest of you, you could also be considered owners. But
Who can really own this majestic
exactly. But Pickle's owner can use the spell Animal Messenger using this collar, and Pickle will deliver a message in your own voice. It will, like, you literally record a 25-word message, like sending, and Pickle will fly to its recipient, open his beak, and your voice will come out in the exact message that you declared.
Oh, that's so unsettling.
It's very unsettling. However, Pickle can deliver a message within 50 miles, up to a 24-hour period. So pretty much anywhere in Sharn, Pickle can deliver them a message. And as long as you give Pickle a general description and a general location, Pickle will find them and deliver the message.
That's pretty dope.
And so you can effectively use this as much as you want, provided that Pickle's fed and gets the right amount of rest, and Pickle's actually there for you to do the message thing. And you know, pretty common sense stuff. And some days, you know, if you've been treating Pickle badly, Pickle will not deliver the message. But for the most part, you now have Pickle as a animal messenger.
Cool.
Gwendolyn, he seems to have taken a shine to you. Would you like to contact Sergeant Philroy?
Actually, we should probably do this a little bit quicker than 24 hours. Maybe a little bit more instantaneous.
I think
right
the idea
now.
is that the journey cannot last over 24 hours.
Correct.
How quick would this message be sent then? Because just because I mean, it's still a hawk flying, right?
Correct.
Screw it. I cast sending. It's just taking too long.
Fuck. You cast sending. What do you say?
Okay, it's 25 words, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Let's count this out.
I'll let you count it out, and we'll say you sit down with the other three and kind of brainstorm and say, all right, what do we need to say, blah, blah. And I, Logan, am going to take a quick short rest and go use the bathroom.
Cool.
Because, you know, toilet cat.
Toilet cat's in the chat.
Meow, flush sound.
I need to
soundboard.
find a sound bite for that. So like anytime anyone follows or subscribes, just toilet flush cat meow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of unsettled
Alright.
by this combo.
Yeah, we also need some audio clips of Barney Five just going, "Oh!"
Oh no.
Okay.
A truly
25 words, right?
Yeah, okay, something along the lines of like 3 murders so far.
Am I counting the ums and uhs as words? Please tell me that actually counts.
House Thrask,
If it works for Twitter, it works for that.
That's true.
Katerine Orien, Tengfei Leandar, that's 10 words, and at least one more to come. What else do we have to communicate?
We actually need to know who the person was that died from House Thrask and how they died, or how when they died.
Yes.
Would Winland now, or
Details, just details. You can just say details.
I think it's
Details
I just know
on-
that they fell.
that's how you know it, but you don't know the name. Okay.
Yeah, maybe details on House Tarask death, please.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool.
The streamer gets tings.
The streamer gets stings apparently.
Ooh.
Wow.
So, what is your message?
Cool. It's something along the lines of 3 murders so far. House Thrask, Katerine Orien, and Tengfei Leandar are likely more to come. Information on House Thrask's death, please. Also, would MOH count as one word?
Sure.
Any info on MOH? That's 25 exactly.
Jeez.
Unless I can't count.
No, you got it. I was counting behind you.
A few moments pass. And Sergeant Vilroy responds and says, "Meet me at the Sharn Watch's office in Death's Gate. I'll bring information and we'll discuss there."
Okay, cool. Well, I'm not using another 3rd level spell slot, so I tell the gang and suggest we head there.
Cool. Let's jump in my schedule. Let's get going.
Bernie yells over to you, Spike, and says, where are you headed to?
To meet with a member of the Sharn Watch.
You just injected in front of Spike? He could have been lying.
Go ahead, Varian. No, you want to take the floor.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No,
you know what?
no.
You know what? Yeah, he's your friend.
No, you've already started.
He turns to Spike and says, "These academics always trying to get their word in. They think their word is so
Listen.
much more important than everybody else's."
He thinks that just because he reads. You know what, Varian? I read too, alright? And I take out my pocket guide of the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm like, I read too, Varian.
I know you do, Spike. I think of the mountain of books on my desk that I've read in the past week.
I was thinking of Spike sitting in his totally empty apartment with that one book for the past 5 years.
I need a new book.
Has Spike
I
finished
imagine
reading
it's
that
like
book?
grimy and
Yeah,
falling
it's falling
apart.
Oh, it's like one of those paperback books. It's just it's been through some
The
stuff.
front cover's missing.
Oh,
Has
Yo,
Spike
actually,
finished reading?
Oh yeah, I've read it about 27 times.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. It's not like
talking
you're
about that,
still working
actually.
on it.
Yeah, go on.
look at what happened to my book.
I've got some back
so
here.
sad.
Oh, no, back
What'd
there.
you do to it?
I think Yeah, I think this was water.
That'll do it.
Unfortunately.
No, Varian, go ahead.
Oh no, it's coffee. Sorry, go ahead.
We're leaving, anyways.
Oh, I'm one of the head security personnel on the surge. What do you suggest we do, other than land the airship?
Preserve the crime scene for now. I'm sure the Sharn Watch will want to have a look at it, as well as probably do an autopsy on the body before it's returned to the Leondar family. That would be my advice.
If you see any group of ne'er-do-wells with the Das clan, a bunch of harpies and stuff like that, don't let them get anywhere close.
On it, he turns and starts telling other guards, like word for word, what you just said, and then turns around and says, "All right, let's go."
Hey, and intern Bernie, good job out there today. You are now associate Bernie. Wink.
That's a bit of a downgrade than what.
Listen, Bernie, I understand you're new to the system. You don't have all day to learn it, all right? It's a very complex system.
Very complex system.
Very complex.
Very complex.
Intern, associate, apprentice, follower. It's a whole thing.
Grand Poobah. Yes.
Yes. It takes a long time to get there.
So
Gotta work your way up through the ranks.
should I come with you as sort of a representative for the surge airship, or stay with the guards here, sir?
I have a point of Varian. Let me handle this.
Of course. I defer to you, Grand Poobah.
Thank you. Thank you, director.
I salute.
Mm-hmm. Now, General Oleg and Coach Wendelin and I, we're all gonna go.
Coach Gwendolyn. Oh no.
Coach Wendelin. General Oleg. Director Varian. And Grand Poobah Spike.
Just Coach.
Listen, we're gonna take things from here, but we need you here. We need to make sure nothing else insane happens at this crime scene. We don't need any more. We need you to stay here, and we need you to be our eyes and our ears.
Of course, I can do that. Yeah, and if you need me, we'll be parking the airship back at Lyrandar Tower. We'll be waiting there.
Lyrandar Tower, wonderful.
And then he salutes the four of you as you board your sky coach.
You are a credit to your station.
All of the other guards are looking at him a little confused. Not like he's a fucking idiot, but just like, what kind of dynamic has happened? Like who's in charge now?
Yeah, can I minor illusion like just a bunch of medals on like all of our chests?
Minor illusion, like a pair of like Sophie shorts and like a jersey on Wendelin, Coach Wendelin.
We'll whistle.
You were officer, Varian?
Commander.
No, he's director.
Director. I was about to say, no, I am the highest technical general. All right.
What rank is Coach in this system?
Very complex. You don't have time to go over it.
It's an intensely complicated bureaucracy.
Sounds like there's a military and then a football team.
And then you also said follower, so it's also a cult somewhere in there.
I'm just gonna minor illusion like a little hierarchy map that makes no sense.
It's just like a bush.
It's
like,
circular.
yeah. Oh gosh. So you get in your sky coach and you're going to the Death's Gate offices.
Sounds good.
I need to write this in my organization's notes.
Yeah, I wrote that too. I had to make a note so that way later on someone will say General Oleg.
That sounds good. That sounds real good.
Like stroking his beard. Oh, I like this song.
I like that.
Somehow Coach Wendelin just doesn't have the same ring to it.
Honestly, just a few more years of school and you'll be Dr. Varian de Madani.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I when I hear Coach Wendelin, all I think about is the Greed Island volleyball fight in Hunter x Hunter.
Yes.
Where they fight a volleyball man, and it's very fun.
You agree that? It's such a
Greed Island. What damage die with like a one of those rubber volleyball or dodgeballs be?
Like a D10. So
Okay.
So much
Those
damage.
things hurt, yeah.
So you guys are heading to the Death's Gate Sharn Watch offices. So you go back, you fly over Death's Gate, sitting at the cliff, overlooking the City of the Dead crypt and catacombs and all that good stuff. You see all the previous mercenaries, organizations, security services, shops that service mercenaries in Death's Gate, along with the Death's Gate Guild of Mercenaries. You see it's a large compound near the center of Death's Gate. But you eventually find one of the few Skycoach docks in this part of the city. Park and then try and locate the Sharn Watch offices. It takes you a little while. It's been about half an hour since your departure from the airship to park and then get to the actual offices themselves. You arrive at the Sharn Watch offices in like classic police station. There's a little reception area. You flash your little writ. You tell them who you're meeting. And they say, yeah, Sergeant Vilroy is actually waiting for you in the basement area. That's where our morgue is. That's where they perform autopsies and whatnot. So they apparently were looking at Katerine Orien's body for any foul play. They cleared it with Alden, so it's all right. But just head on down there whenever you're ready. There's coffee over here. There's some water with it. A few donuts still over here left.
I'll grab some coffee.
Ooh, role-playing question. Oleg, how do you take your coffee?
Black.
That tracks. That's exactly what I expected.
Yep.
A similar question, Varian. How do you take your coffee? I feel like with a lot of sugar.
Maybe. I don't know. Do they have espresso?
No.
Okay.
They're not that well funded.
He dumps 2 bottles of 5-hour energy in there.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I spent some time with an alchemy set and managed to boil down 5-hour energy into 50-hour energy.
But it's just like a
He's gonna have a heart attack.
It's just a little like pipette that you just squirt into your mouth and you're good.
Yeah, I take a thing of coffee, dump in like 3 sugars and like 2 creams, and then just take a pipette. 1 drops, and like a little like smoke comes off in like a skull and crossbones.
Oh no!
Amazing. So you
This
two grab your
track's so
coffee.
hard.
I love it. Wendelin and Spike. Maybe Spike a little less so. You've had to go into police stations, the Sharn Watch garrisons, to collect any kind of rewards for your bounties and whatnot. But Wendelin, not so much. You're more about the down and dirty street cleaning in your local areas.
Yeah.
But for the two of you, how does it feel to be in a Sharn Watch garrison, a police station, as a sanctioned investigator for like one of the first times? Like, you've never really been called to a station like this before. What is this experience like for you?
It's nice not being anonymous.
that was really sweet.
It don't feel right.
Two very different reactions.
Personally, I want to go in, turn in the escapee convict, whatever. Get my gold and go. Now I'm here. I just don't want them to ask me to do paperwork. That's all.
Yep.
I don't want any paperwork done.
And you do recall that the investigator, the detective you met at the first crime scene, she told you to come back here to this station to fill out the proper paperwork.
God dang it.
Next time you're here.
I'm gonna pull up my bandana just a little bit more.
Some
Yeah,
red
that'll
dead
hide
one, anonymity, pulling up the bandana.
The tall metal man with the cowboy hat and the leather trench coat pulls a bandana over his face to conceal his identity.
Can
Are
I
there any
minor
designs on it?
illusion? Can I minor illusion his bandana so it's still like it shows like his face like
It's
a
like-
print?
A clear face mask.
Yeah.
Face mask that have a mouth on it. I imagine you probably make it a smiley face too, so it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Spike, but with a little like robotic smiley face.
Have you seen
Rosy
Spike without the bandana?
I'm sure she
When
has.
Gwendolyn has that.
No,
Well, maybe not,
because
actually.
Spike's only shown his face like once.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Rare occasion.
I do an
Beautiful
artist
occasion.
rendition of what I think Spike's face is.
SpongeBob buck teeth.
Hi, everybody.
I'm
a cowboy.
You find the stairwell. I'm Dirty Dan. You find the stairwell downstairs to the morgue. You see the various cabinets of corpses on the walls, except they're incredibly small cabinets. They're more like the safety deposit boxes at banks. They're incredibly small. And you watch, as you descend, you see Sergeant Vilroy standing down there. She greets you. She still has her undercut. She has her pipe still in between her teeth, but she is not smoking it down here. Around all these dead bodies and the medical examiner.
Some bubbles coming out.
Some bubbles coming out. There's several essentially just stone tables sitting in the floor for autopsies and examinations and the like. There are tables of examination equipment, variety of surgical tools, all sorts of stuff, trays for evidence, all of the normal trappings of a medical examiner's office and morgue. You see emerging from a nearby office door, who you believe to be the, supposedly, the chief or the head medical examiner, something in this Death's Gate office. You see a halfling individual, so no more than 2.5 feet tall. A bit on the older side, but not terribly old. He has a salt and pepper goatee, still kind of thick salt and pepper hair. It's pulled up in like a pompadour style, but thick glasses, smile wrinkles. He emerges from his office. He picks up a cane that's leaning against the wall and walks over and sticks out his other hand and says, "Hi there, Sergeant Vilroy told me all about you. My name is Solomon Jarasco. You can call me Solomon, you can call me Dr. Jarasco, Dr. Solomon, whatever you prefer, but my name is Dr. Solomon Jarasco. I'm the medical examiner here in this Sharn Watch garrison."
I shake his hand.
Shake his hand.
Yeah.
Says, so you're, Sergeant Vilroy told me you were meeting her here. She had something to speak to you about, but also we uncovered some interesting things about Katerine Orien. So while she speaks to you, I'll get the body ready.
Thank you.
And you see that he walks over to his little examining station, and he takes off the glasses he was wearing and puts on like these quadrifocals that have all these additional lenses on the front, but he puts them all up and walks over to the very tiny drawers against the wall. He pulls out the drawer and pulls out what seems to be like a super tiny doll. It looks just like a little wooden figurine. And he walks over and sets it on the table, and he pulls out a little vial of clear liquid, puts a little pipette in it, drips it onto the little doll, and it grows into the full-sized corpse of Katerine Orien.
Oh my.
Fully, like, not necessarily dissected is the wrong word, but examined. Totally nude for a second, and then he throws a sheet over her. But Sergeant Vilroy, she says, "Okay, it's good to see you all again. It's been a little while. It's a bit." She looks over at Solomon, and they sort of exchange a glance at each other, and then she turns back to you four and says, "So you asked about deaths with the dragon-marked houses and House Thrash, right?"
Correct.
Well, according to the records and the paperwork and everything formal, yes, a House Thrash dignitary suffered a terrible accident a few days ago, falling from the streets of Upper Sharn and falling to his death.
Did it happen to be on the 7th? Was it on the 7th?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
He was here having a dinner. Excuse me. Sergeant Vilroy burps. She says, yes, his name was Invigus Torn. Torn spelled with an extra R. But Thrashk, they don't necessarily use Thrashk as their surnames like most houses do. They still keep to their old ways. They're slow to adapt with that kind of thing. But he was a prominent person in House Thrash. He owned a mine of some kind, dragon shards, I think. And how familiar are you all with the Arum? That highfalutin organization?
We've run into a couple members of it, yes.
They're
Is that right?
around.
Previous case.
Yeah,
yes.
they specialize in collecting artifacts and preserving them and the like. They're a strange group, historical but also quite wealthy. But he was having a meeting with the Copper Concord, which is the lower tier of the Arum. Apparently they were trying to acquire some artifacts that he might discover in his Dragon Shard mines, but I don't know what came up of it. But long story short, after his accident, it was almost double. The House Thrash was quick to push the Sharn Watch and any investigators away, believing that we were going to defile Invigus's reputation, and then vice versa. We had a couple wealthy benefactors paid to not have it investigated, so it was dropped, labeled an accident, and everyone moved on.
Do you know of Kina Button in the Copper Concord?
The name sounds familiar from the papers, but yeah, I looked her up. She's a gnome, quite wealthy. She seems to be someone of higher ranking in the Copper Concord, not the Arum as a whole, but someone of seniority in the Copper Concord. That's about all I know of her. doing a lot of that artifact digging like many of them do.
Curious. What did you find in the autopsy?
Sergeant Vilroy then turns to Dr. Solomon, and he says, yeah, I was told that you looked at the body at the crime scene, and it's no wonder you didn't see these things. They were, she had a, pardon the pun, a death grip on them. He pulls out a small dish that has what you clearly identify as a feather token, the thing that essentially is a featherfall, a minor featherfall. And he says, this is odd. She had it clenched in her hand, and when I did a bit of probing on it, it had been used. She had apparently had enough time and energy in life to use this feather token to break her fall. So clearly none of the wounds on her were because of the fall. It was broken. I mean, that's not to say that maybe the Sky Coach hit her on the way down, or other things in the Sky Coach hit her, but it's just odd to suffer this many wounds but not actually fall.
We had thought that perhaps she had been wounded, or even been delivered the fatal blow before the crash occurred. Is that at all a possibility?
It's possible. It happened in such a close time frame. I suspected that it happened after the crash, but it was so close together. It could have happened before. Also, he turns to Sergeant Vilroy. He says, "You mentioned before they got here that you had a favor you could call on." And Vilroy speaks up. She says, "Yeah, I have someone, I've been hesitant to use this, favor. It's a good one. Someone could use some magic on Katerine, using Speak with Dead. But I only want to burn that favor if this is big. If it was an accident, or even just a..." She turns to the corpse of Katerine and says, "Sorry. If this was just an assassination on someone in the house, and it's no more than that, a vengeance killing or frustration killing, then I kind of would rather just label it as that. But if you all suspect that there's more at play here, we can maybe see about spending that favor."
I mean, you have to admit, the death of Katerine Orien on the same day, around the same time as the death of Tengfei Liandar, mighty suspicious, especially considering they saw each other, they met early in the day. I think it would be a wild coincidence if these were unconnected.
Lyradar. Tengfei Lyradar.
Mhm.
Solomon showed them the note. And he says, clutched in Katerine's other fist, this one seemingly pushed in rather than she had it in her hand and crumpled it. Found this, and he hands one of you, he holds out a note, a piece of paper, small piece of paper, for one of you to take.
Mage hand, I'll hold it up for everybody to see.
You hold it up. The first thing that all of you see is written, like calligraphy style at the top of the note, is the number 2. And the text beneath the number 2, let me go back a little bit.
Fallen houses. Fallen house.
Fuller House.
No.
You say Fuller House?
Yeah, it's a viral marketing campaign for Fuller House.
Oh no.
A show for no one.
A show for no one.
I'm saying it, okay, you.
One.
I said what I said.
Oh shit, where did it go? What did I do with it? Yes, here it is. The note beneath the number 2, the text reads, lightning will surge and strike for the 3rd time. The storm roils. And surge is capitalized.
Okay,
Lightning.
say that one more time.
Lightning will surge and strike for the 3rd time. Period. The storm roils.
Is royals spelled any kind of way other than just like normal royals?
Just royals, like the word rumbles, essentially.
It's got a
It
hyphen
churns.
lord at the end of it.
Well, this seems suspicious because this seems like a riddle of some sort. So we also heard time will pass forth and we will chat soon. But we will chat soon. How about a little head start, MOH? So there has to be a pun in that, right? Time will pass.
Well, the surge, lightning was surge. Surge was the name of the ship. Shit.
So
Time
So, Thrash, do you think this is the same person doing all this, or is there some? Are they just making connections of these? What?
It's the same person or organization, I would say. There's no way these killings aren't connected. We just... Well, obviously we don't know who, but perhaps more importantly right now, we don't know why. Could it be as simple as business interests? I don't know. These seem elaborate and brutal.
Can't be. Someone would have, if it's all connected, it's the same person. Whoever it is would have had to know about the dignitary from House Thrash visiting, because he was only going to be in town for maybe 2 or 3 days. They couldn't have planned this all elaborate stuff on a whim.
How many people would have known about that?
I feel as though anyone who's affiliated with House Thrash and Sharn, the Copper Concord, any of their friends, any of their anyone.
Is there a hotel by the name that has time in the name? Is there like a hospital by the name Time?
Or a clock tower?
Or clock time?
Is there a house of time? Is there an estate that in the name?
I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. I can go run some checks for you, put some men out to see if we can find anything. It'll just take a little while.
That might be good. Is the driver, Barton, is he awake yet?
Carson, you read my mind. You're standing there talking to Vilroy and Dr. Solomon Jarasco. And a Sharn Watch officer opens the door to the morgue. Says, Sergeant Vilroy, we wanted to be informed, but the driver of Katerine's sky coach, he's awake now. conscious. He's disoriented, but he's conscious. She turns to the four of you and says, "Why don't you go question him, see if he knows anything? I'll do a little bit of digging on anything related to time with hotels, clock towers, hospitals, anything else."
Warehouses. Well, actually, do I know of House Caniff? If they have anything specific, that like they own something big.
Make a history check.
Okay. I mean, I would assume that House Jurassico would be hospitals and stuff of the sort.
Yeah.
And I would assume that Galanda would be mostly hotels and shit.
Correct.
That's going to be a 17.
17 for Kenneth. Specifically involving like time and things of that nature.
Well, specifically, like, what are they mostly in charge of in Sharn? And is there anything named time, I guess?
Gotcha. Chicka-choo. So
I'll be right back.
gotcha.
Good.
So they have, similar to Lyrandar, they have an entire tower in Sharn, and they do all sorts of manufacturing and production of like common goods, but then also some mystical stuff. During the war that they made weapons, they made warforged, they made all sorts of armor. They're sort of the big arms manufacturers. But also, specifically in Sharn, there is someone named Merrix. Merrix. Merrix de Cannith.
M-A-R-M-E-R?
Merrix. De Cannith, who was one of the primary, if not the foremost, inventor and specializer of Warforged. But also, they anything to do with crafting, House Cannith usually has a role in it. So even, watches and clockwork things to do with time like that, they probably have a hand in it. So they have a big role in Sharn in the manufacturing and making of things, but the one that they are most known for in Sharn is the person who made Warforged.
Okay.
Can you say the name for me one more time? Or is that just Oleg knows that?
Oleg can say it.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's Merrix. Yeah, sorry. Merrix de Cannith. Merrix. Cannith. Do you know how to spell Cannith?
Yeah, I got the house's name up.
Cool, dope. I know this is a tangent a bit, but in the party I had with my aunt and Orien, I had met up with a couple of Canniths.
Yes.
Who were talking about possibly having a robot prototype coming up.
Correct.
I don't know if I ever followed up with that.
They have not contacted you about it, but if you'd like, you could follow up on it.
Okay, at some point I would like to, when it is not now, of course.
When it is not now. Okay.
I don't know where I even wrote this in my notes, but I just remember it.
Okay. Any other questions for Vilroy or Dr. Solomon Durasco? Take it as a no.
Cool. Yeah.
Unless you miraculously think of anything.
I'll ask Vilroy how Cornelius is doing.
Why would you do this to me, Travis? So
Because I'm
Oh, look,
constantly
he's
doing my
walking through the door right now.
yeah, look, there he is.
I
Vilroy
gotta keep up
says,
that continued lore, you know.
yeah, Vilroy says
you do
that he's been up to his neck in his own investigations. She's been kind of helping him by pawning off some lesser cases that the Sharn Watch doesn't really feel like investigating, like someone claiming that their husband stole something from them, or some ancient old lady claiming that her entire family has disappeared when in reality they have not. All sorts of stuff. And so he's been dealing with that. She does mention that she catches him talking to nothing a lot. She thinks he's talking to himself, but she's not sure, and she's a bit worried about him. You all might think that he's talking to Squinch, but you're not certain.
Dope.
Seems about right.
And I like to imagine that that's the first time in game y'all have thought about Squinch in the longest time. You're like, oh fuck.
Oh, my day just got worse. And there's already been two murders today, so that's saying a lot.
No,
Anyway.
I'm sorry. It was Galanda that was gonna help me with the healing construct, not Kenneth. That's what I was confused
Oh,
about.
correct. Yes. I mean, still, you can contact them about it if you wanted to.
Yeah, sure.
So, you all make your way across Death's Gate to the Durasco Healing House. You're escorted by a Sharn Watch officer to essentially a multi-storied row house healing house with a sign dangling out front that's named Cure Wounds. That is what the healing house is called. Inside, it is nothing but bunks, surgery tables, and all sorts of examination areas. It seems to be a mass healing place as opposed to a specialty healing place. Knowing that Death's Gate is a lot of mercenaries and like people for hire, this seems to be where a lot of them go. So it's more about quick fixes rather than like immaculate healing fixes. But you're escorted to the bedside of Mardo Finch. And unless otherwise, we will probably stop there for tonight.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yes,
Just
Alan?
one last thing.
Yep.
Can I use Pickle?
Yeah.
To just like, meet some of my contacts and be like, hey, check out this bird. You guys know anything about MOH?
So you could really only send Pickle to one of your contacts.
Okay.
So MOH.
What's her face? What's her name?
I know who you're referencing. Love Withers.
Love Withers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one. So you send a message to Love Withers, giving a description and generally where one of the two places she would be, probably at her home or back in Rattlestone.
On the street.
On the street.
Yeah.
She belongs to the street.
But what short message do you convey through Pickle?
Hey girl.
Yep.
Good start.
Check out this bird I got. Could you... Well, how many words? 25?
25, yeah.
Okay, so I'm at 10.
With no
Yeah, what's
information.
fine,
nothing
so-
of value.
Hey girl, check out this bird.
Could you help figure out what MOH means. Okay, thanks, bye.
Sure.
With no context.
No
Nothing
context. So we'll
What is
say
MOH?
as you leave the medical examiner's office.
This is Wendelin, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it has your voice coming out of a
Never
bird.
seen or met.
So
Well,
we'll say,
Wendelin doesn't know how it works.
yeah, Wendell's not sure. So we'll say as you leave the medical examiner's office, you pull out Pickle, you give him your message, and he flies away. And then you'll go and speak to Bardo Finch. But we'll cut to Love Withers, not wearing her fake tin armor anymore, but instead wearing dark street clothes, with concealed knives underneath the various robes she's wearing. She's skulking in the shadows of the alleyways around Rattlestone and around the neighboring lower city districts. And a hawk flies down in the alleyway, perches on a lamppost nearby. Its mouth opens to screech, and it says, "Hey girl, look at this bird I got. Could you help figure out what MOH means?" Okay, thanks. This is Wendelin.
Wow.
And Love looks around to see if anyone else notices. And she mouths herself
Wait,
like,
did it say that to her in private, or is it just like there are other people that also heard this message?
you don't know. You don't know whether that was totally for her or not, but she...
Do you think the bird understands social cues?
She mumbles to herself, MOH. And she looks down the street and she yells to a nearby courier, and it's like, "Hey, can you send a message?" Yeah, it's and then we'll pick up there next time.
No, that's awesome.
Alright.
Oh my gosh. Hey girl.
Biggest takeaway from this: don't touch genuine leather.
Don't
Don't touch it.
genuine leather.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, don't pull a fife. Stay away from this genuine leather.
I need to check to see what it is to make a quote. Add quote. Be careful. That's genuine.
Fine leather.
I've been watching a lot of Parks and Rec, so I'm getting a lot of Ron Swanson stuff whenever I play him. It just reminds me so much. I'm just like,
Out of all the things you could have said you watched, Parks and Rec did not enter the cosmos of my thought.
Yeah, right.
I was just like, oh, maybe he's gonna say Deadwood or Sergio Leone movies. Just like, no, I was watching Parks and Rec to get my cowboy on.
Current cultural vibes aside, I would have even thought you would have been talking about House of Cards.
well, I actually haven't seen that at all. But
With Kevin Spacey being Kevin Spacey, other than that fact,
What a ride that was.
Yeah, it's a pretty okay first couple seasons.
Do y'all remember that Thanksgiving video he made?
No.
Oh, in character as Frank Underwood?
He posted a video on YouTube of
No
himself
way.
in character, vaguely talking, just kind of implying that he was talking about all the stuff that was happening to him. And but it was just in character as Frank, and at the outro of it, it does the dun 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 noise. I'm not kidding. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I imagine his publicist when they saw that. Just the I'm gonna have
he's never gonna
so
work
many
again
calls tomorrow.
I could not believe it.
Well, thank you for the few people who have, I think, just had us on in the background. I think most of it's us who have Twitch pulled up. But that's totally okay. It was a blast still. So, catch us next week. Same Sharn time, same Sharn place. Thanks, Xavier, for that, like, kind of crunk nod. Like,
oh yeah.
Doing the same Sharn thing, solving some murders, catching a serial killer, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you for the zombie octopus. Emoji.
Don't be a Barney Fife. Be back here.
Oh, let me
be a real toilet cat.
Let me add that. Don't be a Barney Fife to the quote thing. How do you spell Fife? F-I-F-E?
Yep.
Alright.
I believe so, yeah.
Don't be a Barney Fife. Sharn campaign added by Carson. Add quote. What was the other one? Toilet cat. What?
Be a real toilet cat and be back here next Monday at 9 p.m. I had to remember which one it was.
You know, whenever we gotta do a bathroom break, we should just say, I gotta go check on my toilet cat.
I hope my toilet cat's okay.
You gotta go feed the toilet cat. He demands piss.
Gotta go feed the toilet cat.
You know, when I said bleed the lizard, all of you are like, ew, but you're on board for feed the toilet cat.
Yeah, that's normal.
So, before we sign off, I'll do it on stream. Why not? Thank you, Streamlabs, for that 3 times combo for octopus emoji. So, I want to. I mean, I don't care if we do this on stream. We can do it off stream if you guys want. I want to talk about the future of the Everon campaign.
Yeah.
You want to do it on stream or do it off stream?
On stream's fine. I don't care. It won't matter to me at all.
So, we've all kind of discussed in passing, how we kind of generally appreciate sort of the Dimension 20 version of things, where it's sort of like not necessarily episodic, but seasonal, like campaign arc kind of things, different worlds and whatnot. So, I mean, we only get to play for 2 to 3 hours each week, so there's a chance that this arc may last for quite a few weeks. So I was gonna pose to you all if or when you might catch this killer or killers. If you guys would want to either start a new Eberron campaign, keep doing sort of one-shot-esque murder mystery adventures in Sharn, keeping with the theme. Something I want to pose to you guys. Let me roll backwards to my bookshelf here. I recently acquired, shout out to Absolute Tabletop, Matt Click on Twitter, Michael Barker, all those fun folks with Absolute Tabletop. I acquired something called Shadows over Driftchapel Adventure Kit.
Oh.
To summarize this world and this adventure style, it's sort of like a noir Sharn-esque vibe meets Call of Cthulhu meets D&D. So it's sort of eldritch horror, but still sort of mystery and intrigue. But still cool. Using D&D mechanics. Part of the lore is that there was this... if you ever played Dragon Age, it's sort of like this ever-encroaching darkness is consuming the world. On top of, there was a war that nearly drove elves and dwarves to extinction, which the darkness has now turned them into, like, crazy people. So, to fight the darkness, because magic is becoming more and more sparse. The darkness! They have developed flintlock weapons. So it's flintlock D&D and Cthulhu mixed with sort of intrigue and scary shit.
This sounds real Bloodborne-y. I
It's
like
very
it.
Bloodborne-y.
Yeah.
If I,
That's
it's
what I
also, I wish, I hope I can do this on stream. I'm not necessarily monetizing this stream. A
We're
lot
gonna
of
get hit with a cease and desist.
a lot of the artwork is very Darkest Dungeon-esque.
Ooh.
And so that's kind of the tone. It's very Darkest Dungeon, dark and grim. Like, look at that artwork. Like, that's some beautiful
It's
stuff.
pretty dope.
So, when you catch murderers or murderer, we can talk about this more in the future, but I just kind of wanted to put it into your ears of, like, what's next. We could keep doing murder mystery stuff. You could play new characters doing murder mystery. We could continue the sagas of Spike, Gwendolyn, Oleg, and Varian. We could do an entirely different part of Eberron, where you're in the Mournland, or the Shadow Marches, or the Talenta Plains, riding dinosaurs. We could do whatever. We could also try an entirely new world, entirely new style of playing. We could also, I have the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. We could try a Ravnica campaign if we really wanted to. We could do some Bizarro stuff.
I personally am not really ready to let go of Oleg yet,
Ooh.
to be honest.
That makes me feel good.
I like Oleg and I like the current party a good bit. But I mean, I would definitely be. I'm also not completely okay with letting go of my turtle, but you know.
Dude,
also
your
mad-
total life is ruined. Let's be honest.
I'm
You
madly in love
squashed
with
that one.
Morel.
Morel. I need to. He's gonna be an NPC. I already planned that out a little bit for if you guys go back to that district.
It'll happen eventually. I don't know, man. Either way, I'm going to play a turtle druid at some point again.
Good.
Morel will be real.
Yeah, I like our party, but I would also be super interested in exploring different places and different themes. Like Shadow of a Driftchapel sounds really cool. And
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe it takes us a couple months before we get there, but I'd be totally down to try it out.
Yeah.
And I mean, if we want to go different places in Eberron, but take the same characters, we could do that.
That too.
Or create new characters. I'm down for whatever.
And
Yeah.
kind of in a theme of what we've been doing too, something we could also do is when you catch a killer, sort of do a downtime, and we take a break and play one-shots, or we do a super small story set in another world, make some new characters, and then, skip a level or two, you guys are level 10 or something, and then jump back into murder mystery stuff. Back in
Yeah, just, like,
Sharn with these
testing it out.
characters.
I'd be down for that. That sounds really good. That's like a good way to also just like test stuff out.
Yeah.
Be like,
Break
ooh, if
it.
you really want to return to that, yeah.
Yeah, because I've got
I mean-
all of these amazing books behind me, and then not the opportunity to use them.
I would. One last thing before Alan, you put in your 2 cents, but I would also really like to do like a full-fledged, not like a multi-month, like huge campaign, but I would really like to do like a campaign.
Like a more long form, like.
Yeah, like grab onto characters, hold on to them for like 4 months,
8
5
years.
months, and maybe not quite like 1 to 15 level thing, but like like a 1 to 8 or 1 to 10 or whatever. You
We'll
know?
have our kids do cameos in this.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing this Monday night stream until we fucking die.
Yeah.
You didn't read the
I mean,
contract?
whatever.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
contract when we started playing.
Yeah.
Send it out
Yeah.
to you guys.
But
Alan,
I would
It's a
definitely. Go
Faustian
ahead.
bargain.
Alan, do you have any input?
I enjoy playing with y'all, and I'm totally fine with whatever. Whether it's we keep playing the Eberron stuff and our characters, or like I don't know, like I really enjoy playing Gwendolyn. I'm also just as fine if she died next session.
You just like playing D&D.
Yeah.
Alan's like, I love my character, but if she died, I wouldn't shed a fucking tear.
This is also like what, the third session he's had with her.
Yeah,
so.
really.
Yeah, that's true.
And like I said, there's no telling how long this next thing will last, so we may feel differently by the end. Who knows? I just wanted to put it in your ears.
Cool.
Wink, wink.
I do like the dark and creepy setting though. I love some dark and creepy.
And I think I would need y'all's consent,
Mm.
but for that kind of setting, that kind of tone, I would almost want to use the gritty realism rules from the Dungeon Master's Guide, where a short rest is a day and a long rest is a week.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Or I don't know if
Yeah,
necessarily it
intense.
lasts a week, but it's at least you can only long rest once per week as opposed to once per 24 hours. So that would really turn it into a scary fucking grind. Like if you get hit by something, fuck.
Big deal.
That's real. That's fucking real.
I mean, that's cool, except with
Life cleric and all off healers.
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like
I mean, I would
we have to have backup characters ready.
Yeah, I think also I may have to do my own home version of it because I've seen where people have made edits to the gritty rules where it's like you only regain hit points after a week, but spellcasters can still regain X number of spell slots per day, like all sorts of weird stuff. So we could play around with it, but like I would want it to be extra gritty to really set the tone.
literally
But
Good Berry would be number one spell from then on.
Oh my god, yeah.
We
I've
could,
never played
we
on
could
hard.
roll on wound tables if we really wanted to
too.
up it.
They not to spoil content, but if y'all have never played Call of Cthulhu, I highly recommend it. It is a different experience entirely. But in this adventure kit, they create just a massive section of like random tables, and one of them is a madness table. And throughout the encounters in the book, it will say like make a sanity roll, and if you fail your sanity roll, you suffer some madness. And the madness in here is bonkers. There's some crazy shit. Some of it, if there's an alternate sanity mechanic, which I won't go over it, but essentially if you reach minimum sanity, you suffer irreparable sanity damage, irreparable madness, which is stuff like you go into a coma permanently. And like that's it, you're done. Some of it is like, oh gosh, where did that list go? There it is. One of them is your mind is no longer your own. The game master now controls your character as a vile adversary.
Wow. I mean, I would also, on that note too, I'd also be fine with doing Call of Cthulhu if you have that as a DM.
I have access to it.
I have been wanting to do Call of
And
Cthulhu
Call
for
of
a
Cthulhu
while.
is a fun like one-shot thing. That's what my Thursday night group does. Is
Oh.
on the weeks we can't play D&D, because it's only 3 players and a DM, and so when one of us can't be there, one of my friend Ian, he GMs a Call of Cthulhu game, and we use the same characters, and so he'll GM like a game of 2. And because character creation, once you make a character, it's really easy to make a character because you're playing a normal person just in the world of Call of Cthulhu. So like, I have played a nurse at an insane asylum. I have played a high school like science teacher. Like you play normal people, and so it's really easy to drop in and play. So that could be something we do too, is have like a Call of Cthulhu like one shot, like we try it out and then maybe we can make that our ongoing game. Who knows?
Coach Wendell, and here we go.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
General Oleg coming in.
Yeah,
General
I'm gonna bean a fucking dodgeball at Nyarlathotep.
Yeah, no, I would love after this next investigation, honestly, to do a Call of Cthulhu one shot,
Totally.
and then do whatever we want to do from there.
We can brainstorm. We can chat it out all the time. So we'll see.
Sounds rad.
Okay. I still think the only people in the chat are us 4, Rachel.
Okay, Rachel. Okay.
Thanks, Rachel.
Everybody says thanks, Rachel.
Oh, what about this UU Sugar Plum 863 who says if you want followers and
Oh yeah, I work with them. No. That's my mom.
obviously go to Big Follows. Why is this happening?
Bigfollows.com.
That sounds like a virus waiting to happen.
Yeah,
I
is.
thought about like going to that website, but I can't.
All you viewers, make sure to get on over to bigfollows.com.
Please
It's
don't.
not even bigfollows.com. It's bigfollows space com. Like what?
That's called hacking. Space.spacecom. I'm in.
All right. I don't have anything else. I mean, we can keep chatting here, dicking around.
It's
Alan
midnight
has
16.
Yeah,
That's
late
probably
for
pretty good.
y'all.
at some
Alan
point
has
soon.
enough tings to make something happen.
I'll stay, Wells.
Save those teams up.
Gotta go save those tings.
Oh.
It's an investment.
Almost.
Oh.
Very close.
Oh yeah, right
friends.
here, right here.
Oh,
And all y'all have something happen saved up. I'm scared.
We're all just gonna one day. We're just all gonna just completely
Something-
wreck
just-
the campaign.
every
We're gonna
half
be in-
hour or something.
Yeah, we're gonna be in the middle of a boss fight, and I'm gonna have enough. We're gonna have enough for like 3 or 4 tings to happen all at once.
And it's gonna be dumb. Like I'll roll like a monster appears every time, and it's gonna be like, all right, on top of the big bad. Now there's a mind flare. Now here's a beholder. Now here's a dragon.
Are they on our side?
No.
Oh.
Whoops.
Game over. Big
Or do
character.
that
Once
shitty thing
again,
like-
fall into the gnome family's car.
Morel comes in.
I did some calculations, but
Morel,
oh boy, am I
an
bad at
NPC
math.
appears. Morel runs into the scene.
Yeah, I remember a big boss fight in Nephis. We were getting our asses kicked by this like wizard or sorcerer dude, and so we called Tate and
Oh
got
yeah.
and he came in, healed somebody, and immediately got down.
I'm
It was
also Carson. Your outfit right now is so confusing to me. You're wearing "I Love New York" pajamas
yeah.
with I think a jacket. I'm not sure.
Jacket.
And-
Carhartt. Like
and
Yeah,
and a tank top. It's
And
it's
a tank
called
top.
fashion.
This is supreme quarantine fashion right there.
it's genuine leather.
It is
Pristine quarantine.
All right, I'm gonna end the stream here. Thank you for my own players sitting in the chat viewing the stream, and thank you. Shout out to Rachel, my biggest fan, our biggest fan.
Aw.
Thank you
Thanks,
for the
Rach.
people who tuned in at any point.
Jacob Todd. He was here.
Jacob Todd was here. I don't think he's still here, but Jacob Todd was here. That's about it.
You use Sugar Plum 863.
Yeah, everybody go over to Big Follows space.space.com. But
Fat Lannis 743.
same time next week. Check out Silent Plays on Twitch affiliate. He slaps. He's great. Playing Resident Evil 3. I don't have anything else to promote. I have an adventure on DM's Guild. I totally forgot to say that at the beginning.
Oh, do you really?
It did get frozen for a bit because I'm an idiot and put something on my cover page that I should not have put on my cover page. But
it was very lewd.
it was.
Wow.
It is still blocked on DM's Guild. So don't look it up. It's gone. But it will be up there probably tomorrow.
Don't know how I'd look it up in the first
Exactly.
place. So
Don't worry about it then. Check me out on Twitter. I will most definitely post about it. But other than that, thank you all for playing. So much fun as always. I will talk to everyone later and end the stream now.